everybody, this is Roberto Blake helping you create something awesome today. Welcome back to another YouTube live Q&A session. We've got an interesting show for you today. We're going to be covering a couple of things. One, I'm going to be talking about some of my upcoming travels and speaking engagements. Those of you who are going to be at VidCon 2018 this year, you'll see me. I'll be talking about that. We're going to talk about an interesting, if not unfair, Bloomberg article that was also pretty much copy and pasted by Inc.com as well, talking about the idea that success on YouTube still leads to a life of poverty. So I want to drill down into that and talk about my feelings on this article and how they purposely chose to present some of the research they got. So that's going to be fun, right? We're also going to talk about YouTube's new updates. There are a couple to unpack here, including updates to the YouTube dashboard, updates to YouTube's live streaming, and whether I will be embracing some of those new updates or not. Pretty soon here, we're actually going to put your live chat comments up here on the screen, so you'll be seeing that shortly. And we're also going to be talking about some new stuff that I'm doing with AwesomeCreatorAcademy.com. For those of you who may not be familiar, AwesomeCreatorAcademy.com is part of how I'm able to bring you guys YouTube content. It is my business outside of YouTube, where I offer coaching one-on-one for people who want to build their personal brand or their business. I also offer one-on-one YouTube channel reviews, and recently we released a new course called The Formula for Awesome Video to teach people who are struggling with making quality video content the things they need to know before they hit the record button. It's actually not as simple as just hitting record and making a YouTube video or a Facebook or Instagram video and slapping it up there. And since some people struggle with this and they told me what their problems and concerns were, I remembered that my first 50 videos on YouTube sucked. So I thought about what would have been helpful to a younger Roberto who wanted to make online videos. So we get into that. I also am going to be doing a Q&A with you guys, answering your questions. And of course, toward the end of the stream, for those of you who follow my super chat rules down below, we will be doing some YouTube channel reviews. This is something I just like to do to hang out with the community. We're almost at 300,000 subscribers now, so thank you guys for always supporting what we do here on the channel. Thank you for those of you who support things I do like Awesome Creator Academy. Really appreciate you. And of course, anybody who donates super chat or asks questions during the live stream, you know that I always appreciate that as well. One of the things we are going to try to do once we hit 300,000 subscribers is we're going to try and do a charity live stream. I haven't decided on the charity yet. Rules for Super Chat are in the description, so make sure you're checking that out. There are also useful articles down there. There are also discount codes for things like TubeBuddy. There are discount codes for some of the things I have with AwesomeCreatorAcademy.com. We're actually running 50% off on the Formula for Awesome Videos course if you guys are interested. And that 50% off will end April 30th unless we extend it for some reason. So we'll be talking about a lot of things, but I do want to bring up charity live streaming because I think it's something that a lot of you could do with your YouTube milestones, whether you just hit 1,000 subscribers, whether you just hit 10,000 subscribers. What I think we could do as an online community is I feel like we could make a difference by supporting and donating charities and causes when we hit our milestones. So that's just something I'm trying to figure out how to do. And some people are helping me out with that. And again, I'm going to pick a charity that we can, kind of put our effort behind and support together. So I'm looking forward to that and figuring out how all that's going to work. Some of you had made some suggestions about the charities that we could support. A lot of you have said No Kid Hungry. I really like that one. Pencils of Promise. I know that both Pat Flynn and Gary Vee support that one, so that could be interesting as well. You guys know I've been a big supporter of Charity Water. I personally donate to them every single month. So, yeah, there are a lot of, things that I want to talk about in today's live stream. Charity is definitely something that I think more of us could support with our platforms. But in the meantime, I want to acknowledge some of the first super chats we've got here. We've got Dominic with 99 cents. Appreciate you. Every little bit helps, bud. Thank you so much. Brandon Goes Raw just hit 2,000 subscribers. Thank you, Roberto, for all your insights along the way. Thank you for the super chat, Brandon, and I'm glad that it's working for you. CKC, $20 super chat. Thank you so much for all the helpful content. I've been growing significantly thanks to your advice. I'd love to be considered for a channel review. CKC, you've got it. You'll get a channel review toward the end of the stream today. Alan Spicer, YouTube Tips and Tricks, wanted to donate you a coffee to say thank you for all your help and support over the years. You've helped me grow 2 channels and build my skills. Well, thank you, Alan. I've been watching what you've been doing, buddy, and I super appreciate that. And I see you working hard, so just keep it up. And let's see. Looks like we had a super chat here from before we even got started from Katrina DK. I think that's $5 Denmark, so thank you for that. Really appreciate you. Yeah, this is awesome. It's great to have you guys here for the live stream, here for the super chat. We are going to be talking about the new YouTube live features, and like I said, toward the end, we will be doing channel reviews. So that's something that I'm definitely looking forward to doing and seeing what you guys are up to. And it looks like we have a couple of comments here, so I'm just trying to catch up on that before I jump into everything that I want to cover. One of the things that I did want to announce, because I did tease it earlier, is that I will be at VidCon this year. They're still updating the website, so you guys will see it there at some other point, but I'm going to not only be attending VidCon this year, I will be speaking at VidCon, and I will be speaking on the industry track, which is the the 3rd level, the highest tier. I don't know if I will be doing anything with the creator track. We're still working that out, but I do know that I will be speaking for the industry track, and it's going to be awesome, and I'm actually going to be doing that with some friends of mine. So it's great to be able to finally be a speaker at VidCon. I've been really looking forward to that. That was definitely on my bucket list. And so with your help and support, with a lot of you lobbying VidCon to bring Roberto to VidCon, it finally happened. So I want to say thank you to all of you who supported me in that goal. I think that'll be able to create a lot of value for the community. I'm going to try and record my session and try and get that out for you guys if I'm allowed to. But ultimately, whatever information I convey in my session, I'll obviously convey that in some other way here on the channel or on the podcast, because I want you guys to have the same access to information. A lot of what I'm going to be talking about when I'm at events, I'm going to be speaking not only at VidCon this year, but I'm going to be at Vid Summit. I'm in talks with CVX Live about coming back. I'm in talks with Name Summit. I'm pretty much guaranteed coming back for that. I'm going to be at Vid Summit again this year, Daryl Eves' event in California toward the end of the year, I think October. I will be at Video Marketing World with Jeremy Vest from VidPow, his event, a good friend of mine. That's going to be in Texas. I think that one is sold out, unfortunately, but if you can still get tickets to Video Marketing World, I would definitely recommend it if you're taking video seriously. So I'm going to be at a lot of these events, and in, I believe, I want to say it's May. I think it's May. I'm going to be at Social Shakeup, and I almost swear that that's May. It might be July. I'll double check, but Social Shakeup. Social Shakeup is going to be May 7th through 9th. That's actually here in Atlanta. I live in Atlanta now, so that's an easy one for me. But I'm going to be here with my friend Shonduras. My friend Brian Fanzo is coming out for that. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at Social Shakeup in May. I'm going to be doing Atlanta Comic Con as well. I'm probably going to be doing MomoCon here in Atlanta. So you guys will get some opportunity to say hi or to come see me speak on stage. And so that's a lot of fun. But I'm really excited about seeing a lot of you guys at VidCon. VidCon is one of my favorite events. It's great for the YouTube community, and I'm really excited about speaking there. And it couldn't have happened without you guys having my back. So I appreciate that. How to Automotive, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for all the content. I would love to see what you think about the How to Automotive YouTube channel. We will try to get to it. Usually we do the higher super chats, but I think you're gonna make it, and so we'll get to this, the channel reviews at the end. So we'll queue you up. Alpha J Show, one of the good entertainment channels on YouTube. I actually like these nostalgia reviews. Love the channel, Roberto. Excited to see what the future will hold. Just hit 64K. Nice. Congrats, Alpha. Wouldn't mind a follow-up review. Ha ha ha. Yeah, we'll check it out. We'll check it out. So we'll do that close to the end. Grace Berry says, Roberto, I just discovered iJustine thanks to you. She is epic, as are you. Thank you so much, Grace. It's like, really appreciate that. iJustine is one of my favorite creators, has been for a long time. We're the same type of nerd. We're both the same age. It would actually be really dope to collab with her sometime because I just think that she's awesome and I think we'll geek out over the same things. Let's see. Roberto, what's the difference between VidCon and VidSummit, says Jimmy Changa. Well, Jimmy, VidCon is more of a celebration of YouTube creators. You could think of it as kind of like the Woodstock or the South by Southwest of the YouTube world or the online video creator world. But VidSummit is much more of a business development conference for YouTube creators. I would say that ClamorCon is a YouTube business retreat and that VidSummit is a really tactical, very advanced level training bootcamp type of conference. The people who speak there are truly masters of their craft. It's not so much an motivational, how I got my start kind of conference, and that's not what the panels are about. The panels are really at VidSummit and Video Marketing World, and the more, I would say, those are much more conferences in the true sense than conventions. I would say that VidCon is more like a convention, almost like Comic-Con is, and it's a celebration of the community. But VidSummit and Video Marketing World and Social Media Marketing World, these are conferences that are really about networking and about going to workshops and getting high-level training. So if you're trying to get training and education, you would go to VidSummit, Video Marketing World, Social Media Marketing World, and you would go to those type of events. If you want to meet famous YouTubers and you want to go to parties and you want to go to concerts and events, then VidCon is and Playlist Live are more of the type of conference that you should be at if you're just a fan. But if you want to actually grow in the industry and you want to learn from experts, then going to these smaller, more education-based conferences like VidSummit are better. I would say that a nice mix in the middle is something like CVX Live, even though they really do a great job of bringing educators and people who can give you training and real strong advice. So CVX Live, which I believe is always in Utah, and I think I'll be there again this year, is really great for that, especially if you are like doing something in YouTube where you feel like you need some like really specific help, especially like family vloggers. I think that this could be helpful to you, or if you have a like science channel or something obscure, or even if you're doing an entertainment channel, you can get some really good advice, but it won't be a, oh, this is how I got started, or this is my journey or my story. No, VidCon is much more that. It's much more aspirational, if you will. So that's what's up. Slick Death 97, close to 100 subs. I have 88. Thanks for all the help. Thank you. Wow, we got a bunch of super chats here. So I'm gonna definitely address those. I'm gonna look at some of these other questions. Yep. Let's see. All right, so let's acknowledge some of these super chats because we got some pretty big ones. Echo-esque, watched you before I started and you got me started strong with regards to mindset. Got to keep building so that I can inspire people to get into nature. Would love a channel review even though I'm new to YouTube. All right, so we'll check you out at the end. Creator Fundamentals, Dan, how are you? First iOS super chat. Love what you do, Roberto. Congrats on VidCon. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you. Amber Craft, thank you for the $20 super chat. Was wondering if I could get a channel review. As an author, I could use advice on growing. It's such a small niche area. Yeah, absolutely. And I dig that you're an author, and that's something different. Watchtower R, love you, man. Looking for a channel review as well. All right, we'll do you at the end. Unbox Warehouse, $20. Hey, buddy, doing it live. All right, so also we'll check out Unbox Warehouse. So, yeah. All right, so I think we've got some decent channel reviews lined up. And as I said earlier, those will come at the end of the live stream. So now let's jump into kind of the first story for today's live stream, if you will, because because I want to cover that, because there was this article that I really don't agree with from Bloomberg, and then Inc. pretty much did a clone of this, and I want to talk to you guys about it real quick. So just bear with me while I pull that up, because I had it and I lost it. All right, so wow, Fortune.com copied it too. Really? Did everybody just copy the same bloody Bloomberg article? I might have to make a video response to this. I literally might have to make a reaction video to this article, because I mean, it's just stupid. Casey Neistat did make a response video to this, by the way, and I appreciate his commentary on it. And I was good with his video, because again, I've been critical and I've said that yes, you can't just expect to make it on YouTube, but I don't agree with the way they're framing it, and I don't agree with the way they're presenting their information. For one thing, they cite a research study out of Germany that says that 95% of all those trying to make it as YouTubers won't make enough money off advertising to crack the US poverty line. For one thing, I think that their focus on ad revenue is misleading, because the real way anyone makes it on YouTube financially, with the exception, and even the biggest YouTubers still diversify, and I've talked about this constantly, is the fact that you don't just do ad revenue, you do sponsorships, you do things like Super Chat, you do merchandise, you do your own products or services or courses, you do public speaking, or you do appearances, you do affiliate marketing, there's so many ways to monetize an audience. It's not even worth really going into the weeds of how absurd it is to focus on AdSense. But let's play along here for a minute. They're saying breaking into the top 3% of most views channels could bring advertising revenue of about $16,000 a year. Oh, really? Okay. And I get it. And every channel is different. And I've often said that, you know, every channel, there's no normal, and it's its own unique thing. And that's true. And I want to point something out here that, again, I just feel like they're being intellectually dishonest. They talk about the average YouTube CPM rate that is between 25, 35 cents to $1 per 1,000 views on average. And yeah, that's on average. But anyone who's ever looked at YouTube analytics knows that averages are misleading. Averages are completely misleading. It doesn't add up. Okay? Like, averages, if you were a student, you get 4 100s on your quizzes, and then you get sick, like I am right now, and then you get a 0 because you didn't show up because you were sick. You look like a C student because you have an 80% average. It doesn't tell the whole story about those other 4 100s you got. And let me put this into context for you by showing you something. Let's just bring up my YouTube analytics real quick. So, my YouTube analytics. This is a 90-day overview, and in the last 90 days, 1.6 million views. It's about, you know, 10K in revenue. And, you know, I hate bringing that up because I don't like bragging or talking about money that much. And again, it's not the normal. It's not normal for a YouTuber like me that averages like in a 30-day cycle, on 500,000 views, especially when I'm sick and I'm not uploading often, to do like $3 grand on 500,000 views, usually closer to 4 on 6.5, 650,000 views. But that's my audience, right? That's you guys. Do you know what the difference is between me and the average person that they're talking about in YouTube? The demographics of my audience are primarily like 70% 24 to 44-year-olds, which means the advertising that shows up on my channel ends up being different, right? everyone's ads are different. Everyone's ad revenue is different. So bringing up the averages is pointless, because if someone is a 19-year-old, like the kid they bring up that they're comparing to PewDiePie in this article, again, intellectually dishonest in my opinion to go that route, like a kid that's talking about his life in college and doesn't have a real strategy, of course he's not going to make any money on YouTube. Sorry, that's the way it is. But to say that that's everybody in YouTube and everybody under 100,000 subscribers, you guys saw, I did a 3-hour podcast interview with John Prosser from Front Page Tech. You know, with his 50,000 subscribers, they make a full 6-figure business that supports him and his partner with their team for Front Page Tech. They do massively good brand deals, and they sell bulk inventory against sponsorship. It's not about ad revenue for them, even though sometimes they do really good videos that bring in ad revenue. You got Tylosive Tech. You got another tech YouTuber. Drew just turned 20. He's a 20-year-old. He has multiple YouTube channels. He built his own network, the Tylosive Network, and Tylosive Tech being the biggest channel on that network with 75,000 subscribers. Even with their AdSense revenue, even with demonetization, they're able to support him full-time at 20 years old, paying all the bills, renting their office space, and covering their team of people behind that channel, because it's a multiple, it's a lot of people not behind just that one channel, but their whole network, and they're able to cover it. So this article is using, and they're cherry picking their anecdotes. I have more anecdotes probably than they do, but they're also choosing, in my opinion, to misinterpret this data and to not look at the broader scheme of a healthy YouTube business model. And they go on in these things to try to discourage people. The Bloomberg article specifically had a line that, that says, the article leads with, "Do your children dream of YouTube stardom? Do them a favor. Crush that ambition now." The idea that you should crush a young person's ambition is ridiculous. Like that'd be the same as you saying, "Oh, your kid dreams of being an Olympic athlete," based on the fact that 97% of people who want to be an Olympic athlete don't become one. Maybe we should crush that ambitions too. No, you're not going to be a gymnast, Johnny. You're not going to be a gymnast, Maria, because 97% of people don't make it. That they're using the same thing. I would probably argue that the majority of people who decide to become doctors don't become successful or famous doctors. The people, probably 90% of people who take the bar exam probably fail the first time or pretty close to it. There are plenty of people and plenty of professionals. If we want to talk about the poverty line, if we want to talk about people not making enough money off of the poverty line, like, why doesn't this article talk about the fact that maybe if you live in the East Coast or something like that in coal mining country, maybe you should just crush anyone's ambition and no one should ever think about being a coal miner then, because you're certainly not likely to do much better than the poverty line and you're likely to get black lung. Like, real talk. Maybe we should discourage everybody and tell everybody to quit coal mining. Like, I'm kind of actually for that, because I think they'd make more money in digital and in robotics, programming, engineering. But is it for me to say that that entire way of life should be dismissed and that everybody's ambition to do that or desire to follow in the footsteps of their family and doing that kind of business should go away? No. So I don't like this Bloomberg article. I don't like that Fortune and Inc., publications I usually respect, decide practically to do a copy and paste hack job and decide to take a German study about the YouTube channels and the ad revenue completely out of context. They also cite in the same study, the fact that 90% of the traffic on YouTube goes to the top 3% of YouTube channels. Firstly, they're taking it out of context because they're not explaining to you what that means. You assume that that only means Jake Paul, Logan Paul, PewDiePie, Liza Koshy, David Dobrik, Lele Pons, Game Theorist, and people like that. But what they're not taking into context is that top 3% of YouTube is a very interesting ecosystem, because what a lot of you think is the top 3% of YouTube is probably dramatically taken out of context. And let's go to Social Blade to make that point. But also someone's asking a question, hey, what is considered a successful video as far as views? It's it's dependent on what you want to interpret as successful, and everyone has their own. And I know that sounds like a fluffy answer, but I'm being as real with you as I can. By YouTube just said that like a couple of years ago, and I think this still holds true. YouTube said that 60% of all videos on the YouTube platform never get 500 views. So in my mind, I would say that 500 views on any video, you know, would count as a success on YouTube. So, what I'm going to do to like kind of put this into context, I'm looking for it, because I think Social Blade has this. I just need to find it. Yep. Social Blade has what I need. Perfect. Thank you, Social Blade. So we're going to do this by subscriber count. I'm going to make this very, very real to you guys. And again, I know that like subscriber count is what everybody seems to care about. I mean, not all of you guys. I'm generalizing there, and I'm being somewhat salty there, but I'm doing this to make what I feel is a very important point. So I'm going to pull up Social Blade for you guys so you can kind of see what I'm seeing here. So I'm scrolling, and like you can see that this is the top 5,000 most subscribed channels. And to break into that, and to give you some context here, my current rank by subscriber count is I'm in the top 25,000, and that's with me and my almost 300,000 subscribers, aka you guys. I'm in the top 25,000 of channels. Now consider and take into consideration that there are millions of YouTube channels. So when you start talking about millions, that top 3% is not just the channels you think of, because as I scroll through this, there are channels here you've never heard of. There are channels here that aren't even English speaking channels that you will not watch and that you've never heard of. And you're going to see that cracking the top 5,000 is not what you think it is. And there are channels that have 1 million plus subscribers that you've never heard of, and that still is, we're talking about the top 0.1%. When you start talking about the fact that there are literally tens of millions of YouTube channels, the top 3%, even the top 1%, is a crap ton of channels. You're still talking about, at a bare minimum, the top 100,000 channels in YouTube at the end of the day. I'm in the top 3% of channels siphoning 90% of the traffic of YouTube. And I don't even have 1 million subscribers. I don't even get that many views. I barely get I get more than 500,000 views a month on average when I'm, not too sick to upload or not traveling every minute. If I upload enough, yeah, I always clear between 500,000 and 700,000 views. You can be in the top trafficked channels in YouTube without even clearing 1 million views a month if you're going by the top 3%, top 5%, when you start to think about the fact that there are millions of channels. So YouTube's a bigger place than people think, and I think that this article is framed in a way that I consider to be intellectually dishonest. Because look at this. Gary Vaynerchuk doesn't even crack the top 5,000 subscribed channels in YouTube. Peter McKinnon does, though. Yep, there's Peter. Peter McKinnon is almost at 2 million now, so Peter's in the top, almost in the top 20, top 2,500 channels. So there you go. But who else is there? Well, Dr. Phil, right? So I mean, if you Rihanna, look at all the Vivo channels. Look at all the Vivo channels that make up the top subscribed channels and top traffic channels in YouTube. So again, I feel that this article from Bloomberg that was then copy and pasted by Fortune, Entrepreneur, Inc., all these other people. I think Entrepreneur covered it too. I won't swear to that one. But like all these people copy and pasting this study from Germany about the traffic and then conflating that with the AdSense revenue, not talking about the other business models. It just reeks of intellectual dishonesty to me and purposefully trying to frame YouTube in a negative light because a lot of people just don't like the concept of YouTube overall and how young people are attracted to it. And again, I've pointed out that there are, people on YouTube who make a lot of money with small audiences and people that have large audiences that make no money. And that's just a matter of business sense. There are plenty of people who are doctors who don't make a lot of money. There are plenty of people who are lawyers who don't make a lot of money. The idea that one thing is more valid than the other because it's just traditionally accepted is ludicrous because it ignores economic reality. Lawrence RB says, hi, Roberto. What do you think about the monetization rules of YouTube now? Also, do you think a rival to YouTube will be on the horizon? Never count out that there might be like any number of things to change in the future. Anything could happen with a rival. I think the problem is that YouTube has a decade of experience. They have the Google engineering team. They have a robust ad network. I think it's very difficult to get the right formula of circumstances to compete with YouTube. I think a blockchain competitor is the only thing that has a chance. I don't believe in Amazon Tube. I think that Amazon will give it a run for its money. Then I think it'll figure out its own culture and the two things will coexist, or YouTube will crush them like every other person who's come along, like Vessel. Remember Vessel was going to take out YouTube? What happened to him? Vidler? What happened to them? Vidler actually was before YouTube, and that, Vimeo had to go to a different business model. Dailymotion's barely hanging on by a thread. Vid.me, they died. Like, I mean, I don't really truly believe there will be a competitor to YouTube. I just think that the circumstances and the window where that could have happened over the last 5 years, people had a 5-year window where they could have been competitive with YouTube, and they blew it. The window is closed. I would think that circumstances on a global and economic scale and the marketplace would have to change dramatically before there was a viable chance to truly compete head-to-head with YouTube. I don't see it happening because of culture. I think that you have too much star power right now. I think you have too many big names. I think it's impossible to pull those people away and get them onto a new platform. I think that new talent in a new platform that rises won't be able to garner the same level of attention as the people that we have today. I just don't know that there are as many people who have the showmanship and the talent, let alone the business sense that the Viners had. So I don't see it happening. I don't see there being rock star talent to move people to a new platform, because that's what it really takes is rock star talent, the right culture, the right economic business model, and the right tech team. And I don't think people have the deep pockets to compete with YouTube. I think Apple's the only one who could do it. And I don't think they will. Apple could do it. They're the only, in my mind, right now, if someone said tomorrow that Apple was launching a YouTube competitor, then I would be scared for YouTube and I'd be like, bring it on, we'll get real competition and I'll be excited. But Apple's problem there would be their walled garden and the way that they play their rules. I also don't know that they would make monetization as friendly because they like to keep their cash. So I don't know that they would be truly competitive there, but they're the only ones that I think really have a shot. I think Amazon's culture won't be a good fit, even with what they're doing with Twitch. I think it's different. I think that the idea of being a streamer versus a YouTube are two different cultures, and I think they'll coexist. I don't think they compete. But that's my opinion. That's my industry view. And again, I'm someone who's been watching this evolve over the last decade or so. I lived in a pre-YouTube world for a long time. I'm 33, about to be 34, so that's how I see things. There will be people who disagree. There will be people who just want to believe something different will happen, and more power to them, but I just don't see it. But I could be wrong. I'm usually historically correct on these things, but I've been wrong. I was right the first time about Snapchat, and then I reversed my opinion, and now I'm both right and wrong. Jimmy Changa, thank you for the $10 super chat, buddy. I've spent the last month editing videos of my friends and coworkers, and I've made decent money. I owe it to you for uploading the side hustle video last week. It really motivated me to do this. Wow, that's awesome, man. I'm glad to know that you're doing like the video editing and the photo editing type thing. There is a lot of money that can be made just doing a side hustle. You don't always have to make it on YouTube. You always don't have to make ad revenue. There's so many opportunities on the internet to make money, and I would encourage more of you to look at that instead of just trying to seek stardom. I think there's value there. Katie Flowers, thank you for the $7.99 super chat. Is it better to be around in the first hour of upload or to upload at the best time for views? My upload time is 2 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard. Should I change it? I think it depends on what you're trying to do. I think engagement, you could get more if you schedule it at a time where you're available for that first hour, and that could help. On the other hand, I think that figuring out the best time for your audience, there's value in that. If you can find some hybrid between the best time for your audience and the best time for you to be available to be interactive with them and respond to comments, the balance of that is, something that I would take a look at and see what you can figure out in terms of a good strategy there. As for the new YouTube rules, I'm good with the new YouTube rules. Like, there's things where, I feel bad for small creators, but I also think it was a practical solution. What I do want them to get right is I want them to get better at reviewing channels first, and then getting that out faster so they can get people activated so people can make their money. So that's what I would like to see from YouTube, as well as them getting their technical problems under the hood right. Annie C asks, Roberto, curious, have you ever participated in SSS Veda with Amy? Yeah, I have, and I did an interesting series for a while called Dear Entrepreneurs with that. My Creative Thoughts vlog will be coming back before April, but I won't be doing vlog every day in April. But I have before, and I would encourage people that are new to YouTube to get into that. In fact, in terms of making content, there are challenges in just making good quality content. And I feel like a lot of people don't I think it's taken for granted, right? Just being comfortable on camera to talk to a screen or a lens or to an audience, that's really hard. And the reason that Amy Schmittauer, aka now that she's married, Amy Landino, the reason Amy Landino started vlog every day in April and vlog every day in August was to give people a community of support, that where if they're going to do this every day, they can get good at it, they can get comfortable, they can get fast, and I think that's important. But the thing is, I think it's just hard to make videos, and I think that a lot of people come to YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or Twitch thinking that it's easy because we have all this technology, and that certainly makes it more accessible. But making videos is challenging, guys. It's not an easy thing to do. Even when you have been doing it for a while, it's hard. I think my first 50 videos were pretty bad, in my opinion, when it comes to a lot of these things. I mean, there were so many things I wasn't good at with video. I had a very weak on-camera presence when I first started video because I had no on-camera charisma and confidence. And I also didn't understand how to plan and research videos when I got started, so there were issues even with that, although I learned that quicker than I learned the other things, I think. Video camera setup and gear, I didn't know what the right settings were for everything all the time, and it shows in my early videos that I was really winging it, and I learned as I went along. My first major camera for YouTube didn't even have a flip-out screen. So, that's the camera that got me to 100,000 subscribers. It didn't even have a flip-out screen, guys. I mean, that's rough. The techniques for filming your videos and doing them well, I wasn't good at that when I got started either. There were so many tools and things that I didn't understand how to use properly. There were things with camera settings. There were things with audio that I just really wasn't good at. Even lighting, I had to figure all those things out. And then I didn't have any type of special style or structure that made my videos unique and interesting. And it took me a long time to get my own rhythm and to really understand what my videos could be different or special by doing specific things, and designing my own set and my own backgrounds. The what would the beginning of my videos be like? What would the end of my videos be like? How do I keep people engaged with them? What's my style? What are my graphics? Like there was just so much that I didn't know. And there was no YouTube help channels. I didn't have a mentor. There weren't people you could really ask about this stuff. So, that's what I think is the challenge in making videos. I think it's really hard. and I think that people don't know what quality videos really look like. And then someone in the comments is bringing up, you look so down in your videos. At the time that I made my first early videos, even the stuff in 2013, I was still struggling with my depression. And so not just on-camera confidence, but confidence in general was really something that I struggled with because of where I was. And I continuously got better and I improved. But you know what would have been really helpful is if I had actually known what to do and what made a good video. So, you know, that's what was hard on me. And I still feel like that's something that people are challenged by. Erica Robbins says, hey, can you make a workbook to go with the YouTube analytics training? Yeah, it's something I'm thinking about. I'm holding off on making a workbook because YouTube is updating some things. So I don't want that to be outdated really quickly. Classic mode for analytics will still be a factor. They'll have both the studio mode and the classic mode. So, and for those of you who may not be familiar, and we're going to talk about this and some changes, but I want to show you something here. YouTube is creating a new version of the YouTube dashboard, and it'll look like this. And I like how it looks, but I'm not a fan of the fact that the analytics are lacking and it's missing a bunch of features. And so I don't like the lack of those details. It bothers me. It bothers the hell out of me. And so, because I like having detailed analytics, I like being able to go into here and drill down into really things that I think are really important, like knowing like what fraction or percentage of my viewers are what age brackets and where I'm getting watch time. Kind of matters to me. I kind of like having that. Primary example, I kept telling you guys about this, like this strong demographic of people that are my core audience. But if I do it by watch time, the thing that's really important for the algorithm, I can see these young people that are 13 to 17 not really contributing a lot to my watch time. My core audience of adults that are 18 to 44, even the senior citizens are doing more for me than the youngsters. So, kind of matters. So doing topics that work better for this demographic, even though the 13 to 17-year-olds represent the majority of people on the platform and they do have the most disposable watch time, they're not naturally a good fit for my type of content. So instead of pivoting to pander to an audience and grow that audience, I can stick to my core value and my core audience and just double down. And I think that works better, and a lot of people could figure that out. But if you don't get to see those type of analytics as easily, and you don't get to drill down like that, and all it does is stuff like this and not giving you details, I don't like that as much. I also don't like that I only get to choose these periods of time for monitoring my channel versus all the options I get here. I like this better. So I will be clinging to YouTube Classic mode indefinitely until or unless they give me all the same information in YouTube Studio mode. I don't care how pretty it is. I don't care how sleek the design is. I like the Google material design, but I'm like, I could do away with that, and I'll take a crappier design for better data any day of the week on this particular issue. So, that's how I feel about it. And I wanted to show you guys that because, that's one of the stories we're covering today is the changes YouTube is making. And for me, that one's a big deal because, one, I'm doing a YouTube analytics course at the end of the month. And two, analytics is my secret weapon. Even with a small audience, if you figure out your analytics and understand your audience, you will be more successful than people with a bigger audience that don't understand their audience that intimately. Lawrence says, $5 super chat. Thank you, Lawrence. I'm out of here, but definitely big salute to you. Well, thank you so much. Spoon of Consciousness, thank you for the value, RB. Would love to have you, I guess, on a podcast. Yeah, I need to sit down and I need to get that scheduled with my assistant, so we'll do it. Love to be on people's podcast. Some just work better with my schedule than others is what it is a lot of times. So that matters. Clover Tack, thank you, buddy, for the $10 super chat. And used to get ad restricted quite a bit, thought maybe a little bit to do with the niche since the new policy, have not had one ad restricted flag. I think the AI is more efficient now. Thoughts? Yeah, so Clover runs a channel that has a lot to do with you know, gun enthusiasm and safety and things of that nature. It's a positive you know, gun channel. I know that's a sensitive topic right now politically for people and things of that nature. In YouTube, it's been one of the types of niches that was hit by the ad bots and by the demonetization and age gating and things of that nature. Even when the niche things are in compliance, that was an issue. But overall, the artificial intelligence in YouTube, generally speaking, has been improving, and not just for those channels, but many other niches and genres. And I've always said that the AI would eventually get smarter and would get better. So I think that we're seeing less of those problems in the community. There are other technical issues with YouTube that are happening with notifications, with distribution, with uploading. The problems keep compounding, but that's a platform of this size that's bound to happen. So I think it's interesting to always see a lot of these other niches that are outside the mainstream of YouTube and what's happening with them, because I think it's an indicator of the underlying mechanics of the platform. And I always think that that's interesting when it happens. So that's kind of why I keep an eye on those things, and I appreciate some of those people being in my audience and keeping me informed, because I can always use another set of eyes. I can't see everything, and I don't have time to be in the weeds on that and run two businesses sometimes. So when I get feedback from you guys, when you guys are my boots on the ground and you're telling me about things that you see happening with glitches, exploits, the bots doing weird things, channels going down, I always appreciate the heads up, because I don't always have eyes on that myself. And so I'm thankful for that. So yeah, I believe the AI has been getting better. I've talked to a couple of friends who had massive demonetization issues, and that's getting better for them too. So I think we're moving past that. Malevolent Elephant. I would not be where I am without your brass tacks and brutal honesty. Your kick in the teeth was what helped me tremendously. Thank you. Now at 16K subs. Congratulations. You're on the way to 20K. That's awesome. Appreciate the kudos on that. Glad it's helping. Locked Vibe says, it's hard to make videos and it doesn't always come out right. Yeah, I mean, even with me, things don't always come out the way that I would want them to sometimes, but you have to, like, done is better than perfect, and you have to move on. One of the reasons that I started doing that new course that I just put out, the Formula for Awesome Videos, and we're going to add some things to that course with feedback that we're getting from the students. They loved, the people who've been through the course so far have had positive feedback, and they love it. They've had nothing but good things to say, but they also had some suggestions, and like, that's the thing that I'm most grateful for about my community. I'm grateful that you guys are honest with me, and that even when I put out things like the YouTube Starter Kit, you tell me what can be better, what you need added. That's why we ended up adding Canva assets to the YouTube Starter Kit. Some of you guys want some more channel artwork. We're going to be releasing another channel artwork pack probably at the end of the weekend. So I always love that this community has constructive feedback for me and can actually help me serve you guys better with better content, better products and services and different things. And so you guys have been instrumental not only in what's happened with the growth of this YouTube channel, but with the success of Awesome Creator Academy being a business that's even more lucrative than the YouTube channel as a coaching business. You guys have been supportive of the new products, the new course. Some of you still don't know about the new course, and I'll talk about that at some point in the stream. But I really just want to say thank you to the people who are offering like genuine constructive criticism. It's necessary for creators, regardless of what they're doing, whether it's YouTube, a podcast, a business, to get that really good, honest feedback. And it's not about tearing people down. It becomes about, well, like, I like this, but this was something I didn't understand, or something that I think could have been presented better, or this was confusing to me. Can you make it more simplistic? Like, those are the kind of things we need so that we can like move forward, and so that we can all get better, and then you guys can enjoy better stuff. So I always appreciate that. It's also why I started doing channel reviews for you guys, because some of you weren't getting honest feedback from people that could help you move forward. So that's why I did it, you know? So I guess it's a roundabout, long-winded way of saying thank you, you know? Still a little sick, guys. Strength Corpse, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Roberto, thanks for all your advice. I noticed that although I have 6K subscribers, I'm only getting like 300 to 400 views per video. Could this be because I took small hiatus from YouTube? It could be, but I would also say don't discount that 300 to 400 views per video. That's actually better than you think. Especially with changes that have happened in the YouTube algorithm, every YouTuber, regardless of size, unless they have a rabid fan base, fights for every single view. I don't think a lot of you might appreciate that like everybody struggles to activate 10% of their audience unless they're an entertainer at this point. At this point, unless you're specifically an entertainer and you have a very committed, loyal audience, it is hard to activate 10% of your audience once you cross 1,000 subscribers. Once you cross 1,000 subscribers, activating 10% of your audience is going to be the most challenging thing for you. And you fight tooth and nail for every bit of it. One of the hacks I keep telling you is notification squads help. Responses and activity and shares in the first hour, especially in the first day, but really that first hour too. These are important things for getting traction on a video. But guys, activating 10% of your audience is hard, especially with the changes. It's harder than it's ever been, and only certain creators on average do it. But most of those have very, very young audiences that are all about that. So just keep in mind that if your audience skews a little bit older, they have so many things competing in their life. They've got kids, they've got family, they got a job, they've got school, so it's hard to activate 10% of your audience a lot of the time. So just kind of take it in stride and realize that that's also why it's important to cultivate new viewers as often as you can, just because you just need as many people that can support you, and your sub growth can often outpace your views. So don't get discouraged by your view to subscriber ratio. It's just what it is, you know, and it just comes down to people not necessarily having the time, especially if they're older and there are things that compete for their attention. So I just want to offer some encouragement there, because again, every YouTuber goes through it. It's why I don't validate the quality of my content by its views or by things like that, just because I understand the reality. You know, I mean, so that's the thing. Simona says, I grew fast to 3K in 3 months and still don't have fancy intro outro. Yeah, I mean, you know, you don't always need an intro outro, but you do need a hook and you need a closing, a call to action, and those things are good to have. Mine's not fancy at all, so, you know, don't worry about it. Demi Hardoff. Roberto, thank you for the tip regarding taking freelance work as a side hustle. During the last 30 days, I've made close to $800. Wow, that's really awesome. Thank you for mentioning that, because, yeah, I think side hustles matter. Like, you can make a lot of money freelancing in 30 days, a lot easier than you make money on YouTube a lot of the time. So good on you for hustling and freelancing and making $800 in 30 days. Like, that's tremendous. I don't think a lot of people realize how important that is. It's a big deal. Tornado Alley Live says, I have little to no audience. Can you help me fix this? Tornado, I would say that, you know, content's the foundation of everything. And to grow your audience, I've done some content that can help you. But I think that it comes down to knowing what your core value is. I think it comes down to knowing what you're trying to accomplish. And I think that if you are strategic in your content, you can grow an audience. But I think if you try to just mimic things you've seen, or if you're doing it just for the sake of growing an audience and you don't have a bigger goal, I think it's more challenging. Cosborn asked, would you go to college for graphic design at age 30? Nope, I'd use the internet. Matt Report, can you talk about some of the things that you're struggling with right now as a growing YouTuber? Noticed your consistency with some content types have tapered off. Anything else? Matt, the hardest thing with being a growing YouTuber with that and with my consistency is the fact that I don't make YouTube a full-time job, even though it could support a full-time income based on what I make between the AdSense and the affiliate marketing that I leverage YouTube to do. So I could, because that's a couple of grand a month. It's like, you know, you saw that's like 3 to 4 on average on AdSense. I make more than that on affiliate for sure, especially between TubeBuddy and Bluehost, like, I mean, my deal with Bluehost is that, like, normally people make $50 per commission with Bluehost, and I do 85 because I've done that good a job as an affiliate for them that I got a pay bump. So that means on the lowest plan, the lowest, cheapest plan, with the massive discount that my audience gets for starting websites. And I'm about to do more business-related videos for people, so I'll actually get even more out of that coming up, because I'm going to teach people my secret for marketing funnels for products and services with micro websites and domains. There's a hack to that too, and with landing pages. So that's going to be a combination of Bluehost for websites as an affiliate thing around some of that content, and then lead pages, which is 30% recurring commissions on all sales, 30% recurring for the lifetime of a buyer's account, and then 30% upfront on ConvertKit for email marketing by teaching my email marketing strategy to people, my how to start an online business content that I'm working on developing. The affiliate marketing angle from those is going to be significant, because what you're looking at in that case, because they're going to bump me again, so I'm going to average like $100 whenever someone starts a new website from affiliate commissions, which is awesome because, again, starting a website is what started my online business. So there's a lot of people who need that. So I'll have the commissions from that, but then the 30% on recurring on any lead pages content, and then the 30% up front, which is anywhere from $10 to $30 commissions on average from the email marketing side if they sign up from ConvertKit. So the affiliate marketing trinity on the business side around business and online entrepreneurship content for me, the affiliate side is very strong on that. So when I'm looking at the content that I'm doing and where I'm consistent and where I'm not, part of it is the content that I'm most passionate about, which is the freelancing stuff, making people money online, and the stuff that's related to creativity and motivation. That content doesn't necessarily make me the most money up front, but on the back end it could from the affiliate side versus from the ad revenue. So I think that's part of it. But because I make a lot more money running my own business, both in the form of consulting with corporate clients for Create Awesome Media, and the fact that I then do all the traveling for public speaking at conferences, that puts me in contact with those corporate clients to do workshops and training and seminars, that takes up a lot of time because of flight, but then being on the road itself, which means I'm not making content or editing content then until I outsource it to the new team that I'm hiring for that. There's the fact that I'm focused on developing my podcast this year because I paid a year in advance for editing to be done for my podcast. So I paid that up front, so I'm on the hook. I have 60 episodes of my podcast I paid to have edited, so I have to make the episodes and do the interviews. So that takes away time from the YouTube channel. But the podcast will scale my other coaching business, Awesome Creator Academy, because Awesome Creator Academy is the primary sponsor of the podcast. So my own company is the sponsor of my podcast. So prioritizing my podcast to promote my own business is really practical, not to mention interviewing the top people in the industry through my podcast is a great networking opportunity for me, and it leads to more speaking engagements, and that leads to other opportunities. And that's kind of one of the reasons that I get to speak at things like VidCon and Vid Summit, and next year hopefully I speak at South by Southwest next year on a panel and things of that nature. And so that's why that becomes important. But then you have to remember, I still have to run the core business. I have to still do my one-on-one coaching clients for personal branding. I have to do my one-on-one coaching clients and mentoring paid for YouTube channel reviews. I also have the Awesome Creator Academy group mentoring program where I have 120 students, and I have to do my monthly mastermind calls with them, our monthly live video training, and I'm still active with them every single day in our live Facebook group. So I'm pointing out that the struggle for me as a growing YouTuber is the fact that I run two businesses outside of YouTube, one that has small corporate clients where I do workshops or retainer consulting, and then one where I have an individual coaching practice with people one-on-one, but also my mentoring program students, and then online product development, things like the YouTube Starter Kit, which you guys have been really awesome about helping promote, and then managing the training and webinars, the emails. I'm going to be hiring a copywriter that can help with some of that. I just hired a virtual assistant to handle some of the inbox stuff. I'm hiring a community manager and support staff to, be able to answer some of those questions. So a lot of YouTubers who grow, if they build businesses outside of YouTube, it's always a competition for attention of running your business versus being active in your personal brand in your content, especially since the two are interconnected and they can grow each other. So for me, my biggest struggle is what to be consistent about. And I've been very hardcore about running my businesses and making sure that I'm supporting my customers, supporting my clients, supporting my students, and balancing that against the content I want to make. The answer to it for me is going to be that I'm going to outsource the video editing. Since I'm not a filmmaker per se like Sarah Dietschy, then for me, the style of my editing isn't adding or taking away from the channel. It's my on-camera presence and my information. So I can get away with just giving out the editing to someone who can replicate or improve upon that stylistically and can take on half of the editing or more. And then I can focus on editing and polishing and bringing out the part of me that's a filmmaker when I want to. And I can also focus on making more content and just making really solid content and knowing that editing is not my responsibility. So it's about that as a growing YouTuber, is balancing the business hustle with the content and the personal brand. Like the things that I want from YouTube as far as winning, I've hit all those milestones. I'm good with it. When I had hit 200,000 subscribers, I was like good. If the audience didn't grow beyond that, I was happy. I was satisfied with that. It's great to be on the threshold of 300,000, but I'm personally satisfied with the subscriber count in this community. I want more activity in this community. I want more interaction. It's why I started the Discord server. I think you guys can go to robertoblake.com/discord and that link should work. I'm just going to test it. But you guys should be able to go to robertoblake.com/discord, and if you want to be part of my Discord community, you can. Yep, that still works. Yep. So yeah, you guys, if you want to be part of my Discord, I'm going to go ahead and drop that here, robertoblake.com/discord, because I want the community, one, interacting more with each other, and I want more access to people. I've been doubling down on Instagram lately because I have a motivational message for that. So my biggest things I'm struggling with is the type of content I want to do, the content that can help move the business agenda forward as well as growing my personal brand, and how I balance making content at the request of the community with the content that I have goals around and the content that I think is going to help people with making money and changing their lives, because I want to do more content around that, but I also don't want to come off in a weird way. There are channels that do that, and I like their information. I don't necessarily like the persona around it or the way their community evolved. So for me, it's weird because like I want to help more people that are struggling figure out freelancing, online business, navigating, monetizing their content and their personal brand. I want more people making online courses and digital products, to be real with you, because I believe that product sales make people the most money, and it doesn't matter how big your following is, because a sale is a sale. I think if I could get the majority of you, to make like a $30 product, this is the thing that I would think would change your life. If I can get the majority of you to make a $30 product and then incorporate that into your live streams or into your YouTube channel and like sponsor yourself and link out to that, even if you only have like 200, 300 subscribers, if 5 or 10 of them are buying your $30 product every single month, your life is changing, because then all of a sudden you're making an extra couple hundred or even a couple $1,000 extra dollars, and your life will dramatically change. But I can't get some of you out of the mode of, oh, I don't want to sell, or I don't want to be called a sellout, or what if I don't sell anything? I can't get some of you past your fear of that, and that's hard and that's challenging. I'm stepping up and I'm experimenting with my products because I have to put my money where my mouth is, and I just have to show you how to do it. I want to reveal to you my sales process, but then I don't want people to think that I've just become like one of these salesy channels. So, I mean, it's hard because there are things I want to do, and it's about figuring out how to do them best and how to present them in the best light and not be taken out of context, because people are very quick to take what you do out of context, and it doesn't matter how big you are, you don't escape that. In fact, it actually probably gets worse as you get bigger. So that's something I want to be real with you guys about, is I have a long-term goal and agenda of changing and transforming people's lives and using the content of this channel to move people forward and teaching them. And there are ways to do that, and I'm trying to navigate the most effective ways of doing that while maintaining the relationship I have with people and not making them feel like, oh, wow, you've changed or anything like that. It's that I'm just trying to move forward on different goals now, because I'm trying to serve a part of my audience that tells me in private through DMs and Instagram and through Twitter about their money problems. And I feel for that. And it's something that really gets to me about the fact that, like, there are people that I think really could do something that's maybe not even like YouTube. Like, I think there's a lot of people who should do a podcast, and they don't know how to monetize that because there's not like ad revenue for like a podcast. But there's so many other ways that people like my friend Pat Flynn, and we just did another collab that's going to come out probably in a week or two. My friend Pat Flynn does like $250,000 a month sometimes through the different ways he monetizes, and a nice chunk of that, of like 60 to 80,000 of it, comes through affiliate marketing through his podcast, which is tremendous. And I'm like, well, how can I get people to understand that while they might not make that kind of money, that making $2,000 a month on your podcast is worth it to figure it out in a year, not make that much money, and then in year 2, year 3, start making $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. Like, and how do I get people to accept that that's true? How do I get people to figure out their version of that? How do I get people to realize they have something they might be able to sell? How do I get somebody who's been like fired from their job to then just build a podcast around their industry experience and interview people? Like, yeah, I mean, these are the things I'm trying to navigate. And that's where the struggle is for me. The struggle for me at this point is balancing the things I want to do, the things that I think the audience and community needs me to do, the things that they will accept, and then also challenging my own creativity, because there's no challenge in video production for me anymore. There's no challenge in video editing for me anymore, and I'm about to outsource the editing. So to me, part of the other challenge beyond balancing the business, balancing consistency, balancing the missions that I have with what will be accepted and how to present it, the other thing that I struggle with is my own boredom, in the sense that I love the content that I'm doing and I love why I'm producing the content, but the challenge, there's no creative challenge in making videos for me right now. Which is why I think Instagram is a good outlet for me, because there is a creative challenge in Instagram, and growing that and hustling that feels really good. It feels like the early days of YouTube that were exciting, but it's the balance of the fact that it's not, in addition to the physical struggle of balancing making content with running 2 businesses, the fact that creatively it's not challenging enough makes it harder as well. So, that was a really long answer, but you sparked a question that I think is important, because I think success gets taken for granted, and people feel that, like, once they make it, quote unquote, whether that's numbers or revenue, that all their problems will disappear. Their problems will evolve. The problems evolve and change and grow in proportion to your own power level. And that's just rough to deal with. But it's a good problem to have. I'm grateful. I'm glad that that's my big problem besides taxes. Taxes are brutal. They're really brutal. I think that weirdly, my taxes are like some of my old friends that I grew up with. I think my taxes might be their salary. Like, that's devastating. But, it is what it is. Sylvia with love says, yes, indeed, my girls and I are getting ready to start selling our own products as well. Great advice. Yeah, I think that's awesome. Got some more questions here. Mr. Please Be Serious said, hey, Roberto, I made some fan art of you. Can I get a live reaction? Check on Twitter, please. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. This is actually kind of funny. Hang on. So somebody did, this can happen to a lot of you if like, this is funny. So I've got some fan art here and I'm actually going to go ahead and try and see if I can share that. Hang on. Dear pessimist and optimist and realist, while you guys were busy arguing about the glass of water, I drank it. Sincerely, Roberto Blake. Wow. That's dope. You gave me bigger guns than I actually have, man. Like, I appreciate that. That's a lot more. That's a lot more diesel than I actually am. So thank you for that. Almost got the hat right. I don't like my hat doesn't wear quite like that, but like you know, but that's dope. That's fine. Like, and I do love that this is vector. I love that this is vector, and I love the snark. I love the like, yeah. While you guys were arguing about the glass, I drank it. So yeah, no, that's pretty dope. So and let me see, who was it who sent me this? So Mr. Please Be Serious. All right, so easiest way to get a follow from me in Twitter, dope fan art. Dope fan art is really easy way to get a follow from me in Twitter. And also, guys, if you want to help me out a little bit, I'm dropping fire in Instagram, and we're almost to like 10K followers over there. So if you guys want more motivational Roberto, hit up my Instagram because I've got a very powerful motivational message over there. So again, thank you for the fan art. Super appreciate that. That is dope. And guys, check out Mr. Please Be Serious. Yeah, so that is dope fan art, and that is probably the easiest way to get my attention is to do dope fan art. But yeah, so guys, I still have a couple of things I want to cover here in the live stream. I still need to go over some of the new YouTube updates. There are two updates to monetization, believe it or not. Well, technically monetization. It's more updates to advertisers, if I'm being serious. But it does affect monetization, so I think you can say it's both. And then I do want to do more Q&A. Then we'll move on to channel reviews, and that will be what we cover in the stream. But I want to take this time to thank our sponsor, which is me. I'm the sponsor. Awesome Creator Academy is the sponsor. So guys, when you can, check out awesomecreatoracademy.com. We have a lot of different stuff that we're offering. We have a mentoring program for those of you who want more of a community. You want advice, you want structure. We do mastermind calls, we do group training events, and you get a little bit more access to me. So that is a monthly membership. We have over 120 students there that are hustling just as hard as anybody. And it's not just about YouTube. It's really more than anything. It's about monetizing. It's about marketing yourself effectively. It's about mindset. And then it's also the mentoring aspect from a group perspective. And we've got some amazing people in the group. Nick Nimmin and Brian G. Johnson are both guest instructors, as well as Carlos Gill and Owen Video. So that just lets you know some of the caliber of the people we have in that group. We've got people in that group that are earning 6 and 7 figures, as well as people who are just getting started. So there are a lot of people there that are very generous with their insight. And so if that's something you're into, you can join us. If you want one-on-one help from me, I offer private coaching. If you want YouTube channel reviews one-on-one instead of the 5 minutes here on the channel with Super Chats, I offer that as well. And we also have a few products. You guys might be familiar with the YouTube Starter Kit. The YouTube Starter Kit, of course, is over 150 plus graphics that you have lifetime access to for 99 bucks. And for you small YouTubers, we have a discount code in the description of this video. That discount code is good for a limited time, so take advantage of it and you get like 20 bucks off. But we've got all kinds of templates for your YouTube graphics, whether it's your YouTube thumbnail so that you get those clicks and you get those views, your YouTube channel artwork, your lower thirds, your end cards, pretty much everything. We're adding new graphics packs. In fact, we're going to add a new graphics pack for channel artwork this weekend, as well as some more thumbnails. We even have Canva assets for those of you who don't use Photoshop, and already covered a free alternative to Photoshop called photop.com in a previous video. So check that out. If you guys think you can benefit from that for your YouTube channel, I'd encourage you to grab the YouTube Starter Kit. Now, if you're already struggling with making videos like I did, remember, my first couple of videos sucked. I figured something out called the formula for awesome videos eventually, and then after that, my videos stopped sucking as much. I figured out how to get things right. So if you want to improve your on-camera presence and charisma, if you want to learn how to script and research your videos, if you really want to understand camera gear and settings, lighting, audio, the preparation of your setup and your background, the process for filming effective videos and having a definitive beginning, middle, and end, and all of those things that should happen in between, how to be more comfortable on camera, how to maintain your on-camera presence and energy, even during a live stream, and also some of my personal secrets for success, like how to do batch recordings and how to make time to make your videos, then I will give you guys pretty much all of that in a structured thing in one place. One of the things I learned on YouTube, learning content on YouTube is great and it's free. The problem is there's no structure, there's no continuity, and sometimes you can't get everything in one place. So I started making things as resources and guides that would just give it to you straight and give you what you actually need. So the formula for awesome video is everything I wish I knew so that I can make videos that were awesome on purpose instead of bumbling through it for the first 50 to 100 videos that sucked out loud and never being satisfied with what I was putting out and feeling a little slightly like upset with it every time I released a video. If I had had this, then I probably could have done better a lot faster. And so right now, that is 50% off with the discount code that is in the description for you guys until April 30th. FAVE50, F-A-V-E 50, gets you 50% off. So you can grab the formula for awesome videos and start making awesome videos on purpose. So again, all that stuff and more, as well as free blog content, can be found at awesomecreatoracademy.com. And don't forget, you can sign up for a free YouTube Analytics video training with your email. So, you can learn all about YouTube Analytics and the dashboard and how to navigate this stuff and better understand your audience, until our course on that comes out. So anyway, guys, that's a plug. That is my company outside of YouTube. That is my other business. And it's the thing that I've actually been really excited about in 2017, 2018. So yeah, we got some interesting questions here. Jimmy Chung asks, Roberto, will you be adding more graphics to the YouTube Starter Kit for TubeBuddy members? I'll talk to TubeBuddy about the free sample they give away, because there is a free sample that TubeBuddy has, but it's not the full thing. If you're a paid TubeBuddy member, you get 50% off, so that's dope. But yeah, I'll talk to TubeBuddy and give them some more free stuff, and that's what I'm thinking. Let's see. Tag Froze asks, is it true that offensive comments below a video can be a reason for YouTube demonetizing? There are a lot of YouTubers here in Brazil claiming that this is happening. I've heard this, and I believe it to be true personally. I actually really believe that offensive comments can affect monetization and can get you demonetized. So that is something that I am very careful about, is filtering my comments to help avoid those kind of things happening. Not to mention, one, I like keeping my comments clean in the community, especially knowing that a lot of educators use my content in their classroom, so that becomes important to me. But the other thing that I'm looking at is the fact that when people go to the comment section of YouTube, they're there for an experience and they're there to have a conversation. And I don't think vulgar comments add to that. A lot of people don't feel like, they should silence people who are doing that. A lot of people feel like that could be like a free speech issue. I personally feel that just curating your audience in that way and making sure that there's a good experience down there in the comment section is important. So for me, I just feel that it's really important to try to keep your comment section clean and keep it focused. And that's why I also make it a point to not let people do sub for sub and self-promotion in my comments, because I mean, that's not what people who want to ask me a question or want to interact with me or with the other people, they're not looking for that. So I think it's just about creating a good experience. But I also do worry that the vulgar comments and things of that nature, I think it could be leading to demonetization, in which case I would encourage more creators to protect their revenue by keeping their comments clean, even if they were afraid of feeling that there's censorship before. When it's your money, like, you have the right to do that. When it affects your wallet, I think you have the right to protect your wallet, even if people can't have their say in your comments. So, that's something I think about. Oh, I see my friend Pat Flynn is here. Pat's almost to 100,000 subscribers in YouTube. I was actually talking about Pat earlier when I was talking about affiliate marketing. So always good to see you in the stream, Pat. Appreciate the support. Can't wait for our collab videos to come out. Tag Froze says, but Roberto, if you have a big audience, it's impossible to curate every comment. I'm going to show you guys a trick. Let's see here. If we go to... So if you go to the community panel in your dashboard, not to be confused with the community tab, if you go to the community panel and then you go to community settings, waiting for it. All right, so yeah, if you go to community settings, in addition to just like banning and approving people and creating moderators, you can create a blocked words list. And I block all the spam stuff as best as I can, but then I also put in like all the racial slurs, and I had to put in some interesting things after having some of my female friends on my YouTube channel, because people can't grow up and be adults. So I had to deal with that. So you can put all kinds of things in here, and you can block those words, and you can just mass ban words from your comment section, and that keeps your comments clean. So I would advise you do that. You could also put sensitive information about you in there, just so that that stuff never shows up in comments if people are doing that. So, some people I know, they put their phone number into their blocked words so that people can't release that. And some people put their email address. So like those are things to, just consider. And so that's a trick that you can use. I'll do a tutorial about this at some point, but you can use that to keep your comment section clean. So, you can use that to just make sure that you're keeping the comments the way that you want them, not letting spam happen, and curating and not allowing for vulgar comments as well. And then you can protect your ad revenue if, in fact, YouTube is demonetizing based on comments. That's something that I would look at. Sylvia with love says, can you please do a video on Instagram? Yeah, because I'm approaching 10,000 followers in Instagram, I'm going to actually do some videos for people who are getting started in Instagram. I've also been thinking about doing an Instagram graphics pack, because there's some cool templates that I can make for that. That's something that I'm looking at. Yep. Laura Bailey says, just got the formula for awesome video course. Can't wait to try it. Yeah, I can't wait to hear your feedback on it, Laura. I worked really hard on the formula for awesome videos. It's things I wanted to know. I'm actually planning to add to the formula for awesome videos based on the feedback that I've gotten from people who've taken the course. We're going to add to it. So even though you've already bought it, the value of your product will increase because I will add to it. And we're also going to be doing a live training event for everybody who bought the course. I'm going to do a private training event for everybody who bought the course. And so you guys will get access to me in a very exclusive way. And that'll be fun for a lot of people. And you get to ask me questions directly. So that will be a really cool webinar style thing that we'll be doing. And there's going to be some more value added. And so I'm really looking forward to your feedback, Laura, on the course and what you think of it. And there's just more great stuff to come, guys. There's a lot of plans I have for the future and as far as things I want to do. There's also a lot of free stuff that I'm going to be doing and some more free training events. That stuff's going to definitely grow the email list, but I'm getting really into doing these training events with you guys, like the one we did about maybe 2 weeks ago on YouTube Analytics. That was really good. A lot of you showed up for it, and a lot of you got the download because you signed up to the email list. So, yeah. But for Instagram, yeah, I'm going to do some stuff on how to grow your Instagram, but I'm also going to do some graphics packs, kind of like what we did with the YouTube Starter Kit around Instagram as well. Daria Caracas asks, hey, Roberto, would you consider doing a series about influencers and maybe make videos with Gary Vee, etc.? Also recommend books. Guys, if you guys really want to collab with me and Gary Vee, you're going to have to hit Gary up about it. It's something I would love to do, but basically you guys are going to have to like beat down the doors on that and tell Gary and Team Gary that that's something you guys want to happen. You know, that's like, believe it or not, a lot of times stuff happens because you guys make it happen. So that's what I would say. C4, I can't read that name, but it says, Roberto, this is Fan Belts. I've been on your live since it started today. Tried Super Chat, denied. Comments not seen. Questions not seen. What gives? And I don't know. I don't know if you're on iOS or Android, so I don't know if there's a system glitch or what's going on. You know, YouTube has had multiple issues. So there is glitches and things in YouTube, and I have no idea if people are trying to do Super Chats or other things and it's not working. So I just don't know. So, Fly Ride says, Roberto, did you mention something about the course being inside the Academy? The course itself is not inside the Academy, but there is training within Awesome Creator Academy. So yeah. British Cook says there was an issue with Super Chat earlier. Huh. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes YouTube, especially with the live streaming stuff, it's not like it doesn't have its glitches. Clovertax says Jimmy Condra, new channels failed to grasp the perspective things. Once they do, they will get started growing, then kick themselves for not getting it sooner. That happened even to me. There were things where I'm like, geez, I wish I had understood this sooner. Wow, I wish, I wish I had like known these things. And that's, again, why I make content around it. But I also, again, as an educator, I figured out what the limitations of free content are. I figured out that structure matters, consistency, continuity matters, formats matter. The ability to download audio and listen to it on the go, that's something YouTube's not letting you do by default. So a course that lets you do that's important. Checklists, templates, all those things matter. Physical assets, like as far as printouts, like those are things you can't do with a YouTube channel easily. So like I feel like there's limits to what YouTube can do. Even with entertainers, a lot of entertainers are doing their own live events and their own stage events because they get to have a real experience with their audience. The music people obviously do concerts. There's all kinds of interesting models that spin off from the online stuff. And again, you find limitations in every platform. YouTube has its limitations. Facebook certainly has its limitations, but Facebook has features like groups, right? So that's something different. YouTube is exploring doing stories like Instagram. They were calling it Reels, and then that was confusing, so they just decided to steal Instagram stories. Fine, like everyone stole it from Snapchat, so it's cool with me. So like all these platforms have their own unique quirks and limitations and features, and it's interesting navigating them. But I would encourage all of you to build your own platform and to build a revenue stream outside of the social media platforms because, one, I think it's more lucrative. I've experienced that myself. And then two, the other part is I feel like you have more control there of everything, and you're making up the rules, and they can't necessarily kick you off of that. So you won't lose your voice or your revenue if you don't fit the criteria of a platform, if you have your own platform. So I'm trying to get people to go in that direction. Minthor says, Roberto, I posted earlier, but you didn't see, so I just started. I'm still on the learning curve. How do I inject a little enthusiasm into my lack of personality to help with viewer retention? I would say the most important thing you could probably do is to talk about things that get you naturally excited. That was a big difference for me. Because I do education content, I was so worried about getting things right that I forgot to make sure that I'm conveying that I actually love this stuff and I love geeking out about it. So that was hard on me when I first started making videos. A lot of people don't talk about what a struggle it is to just talk to the camera when you're getting started, and how awkward it is. And I think it's something that a lot of people take for granted, and I think people put a burden and expectation on themselves that they should be good at right away, because whoever they're watching makes it look easy, right? So they expect that it will be easy for them, but they aren't often going back to that person's early beginning, you know? And if you go back to the early beginnings of most people, then you'll find that they were awkward too when they were on camera. They weren't super comfortable, or they weren't super enticing when they were first on camera. So, I think that those things are something that not enough creators talk about, is that initial phase of awkwardness that you have to overcome when you're just getting started, and the fact that you're still so worried about getting it right that you forget to have the energy and the enthusiasm behind what you do. But if you're talking about things that you love, it naturally becomes a little easier over time. And sometimes you should be practicing content and not releasing all the time. Sometimes you should make a video, and it might feel sad to make a video and spend 5 or 10 minutes recording and say, oh, I'm not going to release that. But it's a good warm-up for you to get it right later. And I don't think people practice. I don't think people think that practicing is something that YouTubers do, but it is. Instagram is some YouTubers' warm-up for their content. Mine certainly has become that with my Instagram stories. So, Dimmy says, Roberto, would you consider using Twitch for live streaming? Why or why not? I don't know if you're asking me personally, or if or people in general. If you're talking about creators in general, then sure, yes. Diversifying your platforms is important. Will I use Twitch? I've been debating using Twitch to stream while I work on stuff in Photoshop or edit videos in Premiere Pro. I've been debating streaming my workflow on my computer, because I'm already on. I might as well stream, but I also know I won't be super talkative while I'm doing that. So it just depends, and I don't know how people feel about it. I might just do it to see what happens. So, that's so if you're looking at Twitch, I think it just depends on your strategy. I think it depends on what you want to do. So it's whatever. I'm Karif. To answer some of your questions on the conversation about money and courses and charging, I think you don't understand and have a frame of context for how a business runs, versus you're arguing from the position of what you can currently afford to pay in budget, which as a consumer makes sense, but it's meaningless to the business person and what the business model is, because you're not accounting for it, because you're thinking about the idea of the living of supporting one person. You're not accounting for people having a support staff, for people to handle support emails. You're not accounting for someone to handle emails in general as a virtual assistant. You're not accounting for video editors. You're not accounting for the fact that what you don't know is that it costs $300 to $500 to have an online course platform per month by itself. You're not accounting for the overhead cost of domain registration, private registration for your CNAMEs, wildcard certs, any of those things, the transaction fees on the back end versus profit, the spending into ads themselves and the margins against that, the email list, the fact that there's like $250 a month that goes to supporting a robust email list. You don't have any idea what the back end is of the cost of doing business, not to mention the expansion plan, not to mention if people want to do and hire employees. So for you to then make an arbitrary assertion about what someone should be charging for a product or service because of what you or a consumer thinks that they have in the bank for budget to spend versus the ancillary cost of doing business, not to mention reinvesting profits from business, not to mention the taxes associated with small business owners. There's a lot to unpack there. And if you've never run a business, then it's something that you don't have context on. And just as you just said in your content, it's not that you're being negative, it's that you're naive sometimes. And most people are, which is why most people resent people doing sponsored videos on YouTube, because they don't understand the cost of being a YouTuber. And even with all these articles that I think are intellectually dishonest about the fact that YouTube can be profitable, there are also people who think that because YouTube's profitable, that they don't know that there is a cost behind everything to make videos. A primary example, since I close caption a lot of my stuff, I start every video in the hole by about like $5, $10, $20 because of closed captioning. So like I start my videos at a deficit, like because I'm altruistic and I believe in making my content accessible. There's a little search engine bump, but not by much, not enough to justify the price. But it's more about making that content accessible to people who have disabilities. I'm going to be doing something similar with my podcast soon. You know, so you know, there's a perspective, and there's the idea that a lot of people think that building a YouTube channel, yes, it can be straightforward and it can be easy, and you could start with your smartphone. But that's to get started. The initial cost to get started might be low enough, but on the other hand, to grow, to get bigger, every creator keeps investing in themselves. You know, that's important. Visi TV says, sometimes the cash is just not there to get these packages. 100%. That's why I always run discount codes and things for like the first 2 months to give people the ability to save up for things, because I want more people to have access to resources. So I always do these like 50% off sales for the first 2 months of me releasing a product, which is, again, to my detriment, because that's less profit for me, but I always do that. And then I always increase the value to justify it. But more importantly, I've done thousands of pieces of free content, especially to help people make money, knowing that they might be able to afford to invest themselves, because there's levels to it. I also plan to release things. Some of you guys are going to feel like my strategy is a little aggressive, but I'm going to be releasing a lot of things this month, because, not this month, this year, because I'm going to make things for you guys that are $10 or $20. And I'm going to make stuff, believe it or not, that is still free. I still make not only free content on the YouTube channel, but on the podcast, the blog post, Instagram, the interviews on podcast, LinkedIn, and I still release the speaking engagements that I go out to. I release those for free on the internet. So what I am looking at is I'm building a ladder so that people can grow, and so people can make money, and people can invest back in themselves, and then they can expand on that, because I want all of you to be able to 10x. So like, you know, that to me, that's real. And so there's a method to my madness. But I also want to encourage the rest of you to build and sell stuff too. And I have to show you by doing it, then report back on how it did for me, break down the process, break down all of the tools that I had to use to do it, and reverse engineer that for you guys so that you can do it yourself. Because that's how you're going to get there. So, you know, all of that stuff matters. Will you be collaborating with Pat Flynn and SPI? Oh, yeah, absolutely. We've actually done a collab on this channel. We have some stuff we're doing for, you know, Pat's channel. He's about to cross 100,000 subscribers. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait to welcome him to the Silver Play Button family. So that's going to be cool. Leotine Van Villet says, grew to 177K with just a smartphone. It's possible. Yeah. I know a science YouTuber who grew to over 500,000 with the smartphone. He even edits on his smartphone. All Apple, too. 30-day review says, it takes a while to just hear the words and not be annoyed by the sound of your own voice. That never goes away. I still hate it in my editing, which is why I'm going to be so happy to outsource it. I still don't like that. Jimmy Changa, will you be a guest on Sarah Dietschy's podcast? I don't know. If you guys ask Sarah nicely, maybe. Like, if you guys ask Sarah nicely, maybe the next time in New York, she will ask me to come onto the podcast. I would love to be on the Creative Exchange podcast. So, you know. Laura Bailey TV says, I have nothing to sell at the moment. I just love doing beauty videos. Laura, affiliate marketing could be good for you. Affiliate marketing could be good for you. And then maybe if you make enough money on affiliate marketing, especially Amazon stuff, and you start getting sponsors, down the road, you could consider doing something with Amazon drop shipping business. That makes a lot of people money. I want to interview someone on my podcast to talk about Amazon drop shipping called Amazon FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. There's a lot of money in that and doing private white label drop shipping, but you do need money to start out doing it. That's the barrier to entry for most folks, is that having the $2,000 to $5,000 sitting around to start that and then taking that risk is hard on a lot of people. But if you can, it's worth it if you can get it right and you do your product research very well. So a lot of people are very successful and lucrative with that. They just have to pick the right product category. I want to get someone you can talk about who's done it, that's very educated about it. There's actually someone here in Atlanta that I know that has a business like that, and I might be sharing office space with them. So then I might bring them on the podcast and do an interview. We might do it as a video interview. We might do it in the same kind of style that Sarah's been doing with Creative Exchange, just because I'm local. So, you know, that's something that I'm thinking about for a lot of you, is these other business models that you guys could do that would make you money, you know? So, yeah. But yeah, let's talk a little bit really quickly about some of the changes to YouTube that have happened. And there's a couple of interesting things that I want to bring up. And I'm going to bring that over here on my screen because I want to talk to you guys about this. I'm not going to use this feature, though, just FYI, because it takes away another feature that I like. So updates to YouTube live streaming. So this is from the official YouTube blog, and I'm going to read this for you guys. Together, we've experienced the biggest music, sports, science, culture, and gaming events to unfold live on YouTube. Now we're introducing more ways to watch live videos and interact with your community in real time. Catching up on the latest. Live chats play a key role in creating connections between creators and their community. Today, we're starting to roll out chat replay to YouTube so you can follow the conversation even after a live stream is over. Now, you guys know that I just put it up on the screen using Wirecast. You can also do that for free with OBS, but you're going to get to see it the way that you do in YouTube with the live chat replay here. Now, here's the problem. When you do that, you lose the ability to edit the live stream at the end and trim it the way that I usually do to cut my intro music and to just keep things flowing. And that could be a problem for some of you. For me, that's a problem. I like being able to trim and edit. And so unless I figure out something where that's okay to not do and then have the live chat replay, I won't be using this feature, at least not in these live Q&As and channel review things that I do with you guys. I would do it in a different type of live format where I allow for this. This feature is something you also have to check at like the end of your video when it's going to go up. So live chats play a key role in creating connections between creators and their community. Today, we're starting to roll out chat replay so you can follow the conversation even after a live stream is over. Live chat replays will show up alongside the video exactly as it appeared live. So yeah, so there you go. They're doing that. That's one of their big changes. And then this is my friend Rocky, actually. She's actually somebody that I got to hang out with when we were at CES, and we've been talking online forever. We actually, when we saw the Jabberwockies together when I was in Vegas. So Rocky's cool, and it was awesome to see her featured on YouTube's blog, especially as a smaller creator. So don't think that YouTube doesn't care about smaller creators, because they put somebody with less than 1,000 subscribers right here in their own personal blog. So making live streams more accessible. We launched automatic captions back in 2009. Which were not perfect. And since then, we've auto-captioned a staggering 1 billion videos. We're now bringing English automatic captions to live streams. So I like that they're doing this personally, and I dig it. And one of the things that I find important, obviously, is closed captioning, but live streams are harder. One, it's really expensive to pay for that. And then two, it's harder to cross-check that for accuracy if you paid for it and to find the mistakes. So if it's more than an hour, that's something I usually don't do. But if they're going to get better, especially with the artificial intelligence at this closed captioning live streams, I think that's amazing. I think that's awesome to make that accessible to more people, especially people in the ASL community, the American Sign Language community, and people who are hearing impaired and people from other countries. So, you know, to me, that's an important feature. And then finally, they're adding location tags for live streams. I'm not a big fan of that, just because I think of that as a safety issue personally, but there could be some dope things that happen with that. Creators can now add location tag to their mobile live streams and video uploads and share all their favorite hotspots with their viewers. You can explore other videos with the same location tag by simply clicking on it, and also use the location filter on the search results page to find other videos for that specific spot. So I think that's cool. I think that's something that is pretty dope, but there are some safety concerns I have about it. So just be careful with how you use that feature. And then finally, the last one is more about automation. I don't know if you guys are familiar with If This Then That. IFTTT. It is something that I use so that when I post something to Instagram, the live video, or the native video upload or the native photo upload goes to my Twitter as well. So there's cool recipes and things with If This Then That. It's very cool for automation. There's some other little things I do at Twitter with it that give me some cool hacks. But now they're combining that with super chats to trigger real life events. So like if you had, like, let's say some lights, some special lights, you could have a light bulb go off every time someone donates a certain super chat amount with like your hue bulbs or things like that. So again, there's some cool things, and they're expanding those capabilities. I can't wait to see what people do with that. Me and Tim Schmoyer talked a little bit about it, but those are the new features to YouTube Live. Wonder what the dog's barking about. And then I showed you guys that, you know, the YouTube Creator Studio is getting overhauled from regular analytics. And so this article is about that. But also the fact that they're adding impressions and impression click-through rates. For me, I feel like this metric and adding this metric is going to be depressing instead of encouraging. So moving forward, you'll see 3 new metrics in YouTube Analytics: impressions, impression click-through rates, and unique viewers. Now, unique viewers I'm definitely super interested in, that give a deeper understanding of your reach on YouTube. These new metrics are rolling out to a small group of creators today and will be available to everyone in YouTube Studio within a few weeks. A couple of weeks after that, they'll be available in Creator Studio Classic. So, okay, people like me who rely on Studio Classic won't get left behind. Awesome. An impression is counted when a viewer of YouTube sees one of your video thumbnails. This is why I keep saying thumbnails matter. Impressions tell you the potential reach of your content on YouTube, since each impression is an opportunity to earn a view. It's important to note that the impression metric only reflects impressions generated by your thumbnails on YouTube, including thumbnails in the homepage, subscription feed, search, and up next section. This article describes in detail what is and isn't included in the impression metric. So we'll click that in a minute. Impression click-through rates. We're also adding impression click-through rates, which allow you to see the percentage of your impressions on YouTube that turned into views. So that means that 1 million people might have saw your thumbnail, but 1,000 clicked on it, which means you'd have a 1%, no, 0.1% in that case, click-through rate. So that's why I think that's going to be partially discouraging, right? But I think it's important because it can make people step up their thumbnail game. It can make people understand that, okay, most people who view this weren't interested in it. Maybe I should make it better. So I think that's going to be helpful. For example, effective thumbnails and titles that attract your target audience may drive this rate up. This metric can help you make informed decisions about how to optimize your titles and thumbnails, especially when you look at how this metric changes between past videos. For some best practices, we recommend reading this Help Center article. Unique viewers. Unique viewers shows the estimated number of different people who watch your videos over a period of time. Whether they watch on desktop, mobile, or phone, or watch more than one of your videos, that person will count as one unique viewer. So you can actually quantify your audience instead of just looking at views. You can find individual unique viewers. So I like this metric. This is going to be important to me. This information can also help guide your content strategy and so showcase your true reach when discussing brand deals and sponsorships. So I think that's definitely important. We encourage you to check out the Creator Insider video, Creator Academy lesson, and Help Center articles for additional tips on how to use these metrics. Okay, that's dope. So, I think that this is important. I like that they're going to do video snapshots, personalized recommendations, and news in this new dashboard. If they give me all of my analytics, I will live with this new YouTube dashboard if they give me everything. But if they leave out anything that I think is important, I'm going to keep relying on Studio Classic. I guess that's what they're calling it. And this clunky interface, because this clunky interface still gets the job done for me and tells me the most important things that I think I need to know as a creator. Even though it's clunky, I've learned to navigate it. I'm going to teach you guys in a course how to navigate it, plus with some training webinars. But I like having all the data instead of it being presented and dumbed down to me. I like knowing what's going on, you know. But here they talk a little bit more about the reach information with impressions and traffic sources and what an impression is. So I like that they tell us that. I like that they tell us when impressions are and aren't registered. We won't see it for external websites. Special YouTube apps like kids and gaming apps, the video players, notifications and email and push notifications don't count. Ads don't count. So I think that that's definitely important. They're pointing out that in combination with watch time, that impression click-through rate can help you understand how compelling viewers find your video and your thumbnails and titles. So yeah, I think that's really a big deal. And I think that them releasing that data, I hadn't originally expect them to ever release this information. So I'm glad that they're being even more transparent in the data. I've always felt they've gotten us good data, but I've always felt that they could do a little bit more there. So I'm actually excited about those changes. That can, I think that could be a big deal. Mike Palace, thank you for the $2 super chat, buddy. Less than 200 to get to that 300K? Yeah, it looks like we're on our way. You guys are saying that you want to try and get to me to 300K during the live stream. That'd be dope. I don't know that that's going to happen, but that would be dope. Leon Bartrop says, when are they rolling the community tab out to everybody? I don't think they are. I think that it will stay a perk that you get at 10,000 subscribers to encourage people to hustle for that 10,000. Or it will go to people with a few less than that. But like I kind of think that it will stay a perk so that people keep hustling. So I don't think I mean, it'll go to people with 10,000. They're working on it, but like with people less than 10,000, I don't think they'll do it for people with less than 10,000 anytime soon, if they do it at all. But they are rolling it out to everybody at 10,000. That's just a lot more people than people realize. Yeah. So I mean, so that's all. Let's see. All right, so I think that's it on major questions, and I think we covered the major articles that I wanted to cover. We talked about the Bloomberg article, and we talked about creators that can make it on YouTube even without massive views and subscriber bases, and the fact that I just feel like that article was intellectually dishonest on purpose, and I felt it was kind of bullying in a way and trying to talk people out of YouTube. I don't think that the mainstream media represents YouTube fairly, like almost ever. And I'm disappointed in that because I actually like good journalism when it's done well. And I think that a lot of people are resorting to clickbait, and it's disappointing to me to see real strong publications that I've respected throughout my adulthood go that route. And I understand why from a business standpoint. I understand why from a culture standpoint, but it's just I'm still disappointed personally. And I'm really disappointed that they don't give YouTube and YouTubers a fair shake, and they don't do honest coverage or intellectually honest coverage of YouTube on a regular basis. It's always nonsense and BS and clickbait, and I just don't think it's right. It bothers me. So yeah, we talked about the fact I'm going to be at VidCon. I'm going to be speaking at VidCon, so I'm going to get to meet a lot more of you, and I'm going to get to help the community a lot, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm also going to be at Vid Summit speaking. I might be at CVX Live in Utah. I'm going to be at Social Shakeup here in Atlanta and Atlanta Comic-Con, probably on the new media panel. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on there. We talked about the new updates to YouTube, both in the YouTube dashboard, with them rolling out Studio for more people. I don't like how simplified it is because I lose analytics data, but some people will enjoy the new interface, and it'll be easier for them to navigate. I want more granular data. I answered some of your questions. We had a chat. We talked about the fact that I want to try to figure out how to do a charity live stream and what charity we want to support. For that, hit me up in Twitter or Instagram with your ideas of which charity you guys think we should do a live stream to support when I hit 300K, because I'd love your feedback on that. And we talked a little bit about what I'm doing with Awesome Creator Academy, and we talked about the new formula for awesome videos course. We talked about the YouTube starter kit. Eventually we'll be doing some Instagram graphics pack stuff, so that's gonna be dope. Really looking forward to that. And yeah, I think now we're at the point to where we do channel reviews. So what I need to do in order to do YouTube channel reviews is I have to queue up those super chats that requested channel reviews, and I have to mute their content because it'll be a problem if I don't. So I have to line those up, and then we'll put those on screen and we'll cover them. And partly because of launching the formula for awesome videos, we will talk about some of the things that these channels do well with regard to how they do production values, their style. We will talk a little bit about their visual branding. We'll talk about a lot of things that these channels do well and areas where they might improve. And again, I have to queue these up. Excuse me. So we're doing that here. And we did get a couple of these. I think we got like maybe 10 of these. But we'll try not to keep this going indefinitely forever, because it's about dinner time for some of you guys. I ate before the stream. And again, just bear with me while I queue up the super chats for channel reviews. And just remember that for a lot of the things I talked about, we have resource links that can help you in the description. We've got a discount for TubeBuddy if you guys want to check that out. We've got a discount for the Formula for Awesome Videos course. And we also have a pre-order if you want to check out the YouTube Analytics Crash Course. And over at awesomecreatoracademy.com, we've also got free content in the form of blogs for you guys. And we also have a sign-up form for a free training event where you basically get, you missed out the live webinar. You get a replay that you can download of the video training we did in the webinar. And also, if you're on that email, you'll get hit up the next time that we're doing a live training webinar. So the live training events are kind of a big deal because we're able to get really granular in a structured way about something specific that you're trying to learn, whether it's YouTube Analytics or whether it's how to rank videos, and it's in real time. So it's a live training, and then there's a follow-up Q&A. So that's why we do webinars, and you have to be signed up via email to commit to those. Still getting over this cold. In fact, I'm gonna take some. So we're almost, I'm getting ready to queue up these channel reviews real quick for you. God, I hate being sick. Yep. Let's see. Should I do picks on YouTube of my top 10 tip series? I'm not 100% sure. How do you get a hold of me for ideas on places to donate? Twitter and Instagram. Twitter and Instagram. All right, so let's move into the channel reviews. And I have to change windows here for that. All right, so here we are. This is Grace Berry. So let's start with a couple of things. I like the channel banner, but I don't like that it's in white because of the white on white stuff with YouTube as far as the header. So I would reverse that and I would have made it red and then made all the text white. The other thing is the barbells that you have there still have the Shutterstock thing on there. So you might want to find some free barbells from somewhere else to use for that, because that's, you know, not a great idea. So yeah. Or if you still want to use the white background, you could make a red bar at the bottom, and then that separates it out a little bit, and then that's interesting. You got 200 subscribers. Let's see, you've at least done some custom layout stuff for your channel, so that's actually a good idea. I think the created playlist thing should go to the bottom, and I think that the nursing and workout videos and popular uploads and things should go closer to the top. So I think you need to change the custom layout of the channel to be a little bit more friendly. Now, the other thing is, there might be a little too much going on, because fitness and nursing going together works. Fitness, nursing, and travel doesn't, I think, fit as well. And I think that that causes brand confusion. Fitness and nursing go together easily, and I think you should do that because they're both related to health. Traveling feels like a stretch to shoehorn into this channel, like you're trying to throw all your interest at it, and it'd be different if all of your interests fit together. So, you know, that bothers me just a little bit in terms of how that works. Yep. So that's something to think about here. The thumbnails aren't bad. A lot of these are actually decent, but some of these thumbnails aren't as good as they could be. Let's sort this by what your most popular videos are to see if we can find a trend. All right, so how to get into nursing. More stuff like how to get into nursing and is nursing for you in the career development stuff. You should build out a series of 10 videos and a playlist of 10 videos that are much more specific about this, and those will get thousands upon thousands of views, and that will grow your channel. If you also then focus on top 5 and top 10 tip videos for health and how-to videos for health, you will get more views and your channel will grow. So that will be important. Health-wise, you have to focus the health recipe videos. So I would say that that is an important strategic thing that you could do with your channel that would be better. And again, I think that in some cases the thumbnails could be a lot better. They're not bad. They're not the worst I've seen. I like the thumbnail that you have with overcoming your fears and how to have confidence, but you're doing it about how to start a YouTube channel. That really doesn't fit with nursing and health and fitness. Like, if I came to you and I came to you because you were giving really good advice about starting a nursing career and I'm a second-year nursing student, seeing that turns me off, and then that doesn't make me want to keep watching the channel or become subscribed if I liked 3 videos that I got from you about becoming a nursing student. So it looks like you're trying to throw all the things you're interested in your channel. Most YouTubers do that when they're getting started and trying to find their voice, and it's a mistake, to be real with you, if your goal is to grow YouTube. And because you asked for a review, I think your goal is to grow YouTube. So your growth requires focus for certain things. If you were an entertainer, you could get away with not niching down, right? But you're not an entertainer that's carried by personality. And if you're a variety channel, the things have to be interconnected. They have to be interconnected. Travel is too far a leap from nursing and fitness, whereas nursing and fitness goes hand in hand. Stuff about how to start a YouTube channel, completely out of left field to all of it. So that's the thing. I see you did a giveaway here. I'm telling people don't do giveaways until after you hit like 10,000 subscribers. Like, if you're going to do video giveaways at all. I'm kind of going almost against the idea of doing giveaways in general, but I also think if you're going to do them, you don't do it until after you have a core community and audience. I don't think you should do giveaways to try to grow. In my experience, you get empty viewers or not viewers who came in good faith if you do that. So that's my advice. So Grace Berry, that's my review of your channel. I'll do a quick look let me do a look at least one video real quick to see if I have some advice for you on the quality of your production and your editing. I doubt that I'm going to have a lot to say on that because it's probably going to be good enough. Better fonts, if you're going to put text on the videos. Better fonts, and then choose mixed caps or all caps. I see a little like... I think I saw like a little Peter McKinnon style kind of like transition there. General tip is, even with vlogging, make sure that the environment is really set up for it at home. So like if I was going to do a vlogging style video, even if I'm being very real with you guys, I'd probably always just make sure that my room is clean or spread, or at least the things that are going to be on camera. That's always an important note. there's nothing wrong really with your production values. Your production values are fine, and it's clear that you're using the basic vlogging style setup. Again, always just be conscious of what's in frame and the environment. It looks like you did decent on the editing, so I don't have really any commentary there for you being a small channel. I'm seeing more and more small channels be very good at editing and at video production quality, to be very honest with you guys. But despite all of that, I'm seeing channels that are good at making good videos not do great on little things like channel artwork that helps brand a thing, profile pictures that help give us context, and thumbnails. Some are doing better than others. I mean, the fact that you can get 100 views and you have 200 subscribers is phenomenal. You've activated 50% of your audience, or you got new people. You've had videos that done over 1,000 videos. That is phenomenal, and I'm not taking any of that away from you, but there are little things you can do that will be better, and I feel like thumbnails are a big part of it. And I harp on thumbnails so much, but you keep seeing YouTube itself harp on thumbnails and the role that plays. There's so much data to back this up, and I feel like people are trying to get out of doing good thumbnails, but some people aren't. I don't think you're trying to get out of doing good thumbnails. I think that you're doing the best you can. It looks like you're probably using Canva. I would say, like, do your best, or strongly consider getting the YouTube starter kit and using that to hack your way to better thumbnails. I might actually even do a focused fitness pack around some thumbnails and some channel artwork soon, because niches are important, and I've diversified the kit, but maybe doing niches is the next thing. I don't know. Maybe that helps you guys out a little bit. That's why I take feedback from you guys about what can be better. So Grace, you have good quality content. You have good video production values, but you have to focus. You got to get focused. I would nix travel, and I would nix doing YouTuber-y things, because I don't think it fits. But that's my personal advice. I know everyone likes to try to throw everything that they can do and everything they love at their channel, and I don't think it works for most people. I've seen it not work for most people. Friends of mine who got focused grew their channel. Friends of mine who didn't get focused didn't grow their channel. So, Jiggy Pepper. This is some baller channel artwork, dude. Like, kudos. If YouTube doesn't work out, you might have a future as a graphic designer. Assuming you did this yourself instead of hiring someone. But Jiggy Pepper, props on some dope channel artwork. It's got like a Sonic and Knuckles vibe going there. I appreciate that. I see, is that Kirito on the left and Shauna on the right? No, that's not Kirito. That's somebody else. Maybe that's the guy from, Black Butler or something? I haven't watched that show. But I do think that that's Shauna on the right from Shakugan no Shauna. I don't know. I might not be worthy of my Otaku card or my Weeaboo card anymore, because I don't have time. The only thing that I'm like really super into right now is the Fate series. But the channel artwork for this was really good. The thumbnails are baller. So how long have you been doing this? 2 months. And you're at 200 subscribers, and you're getting views. Why did you need a channel review? Like Jiggy Pepper, why did you need a channel review? You're doing fine. Like, you've been at this 2 months. These are some of the best thumbnails in the anime niche, like, I've seen. Like, these thumbnails rival, like, My Boy Geekdom 101. Like, you go to YouTube and, what's gonna come up in my, like, okay, yeah, all my nerd stuff comes up. My Boy Geekdom, Daniel, like, his stuff's good, but, like, I want you to understand something. Geekdom's at almost 500,000, and look at Geekdom's thumbnails. Like, this is just like a comparison thing. Not that you should be comparing, but I want to give you perspective. This is Geekdom at 500,000, and this is you. Your stuff's just as good as far as thumbnails go. So the fact that you've been at this 2 months and you're getting views that rival your subscriber count, which, as everyone in YouTube knows, is not the norm, especially when you're just starting out, I think you're going to be fine. I think that more content, maybe even going daily, if you could do it, which I don't know that you can. You might be a student, so that might be a problem. like, and then I don't know what your presentation style is like, but it looks like it's what I would expect normally from the anime community. Probably better in most cases. So it looks like it takes you a while to put together your videos because it looks like they're pretty well done. And then you do the voiceover work, and then your video's length is pretty decent. So my advice, like, again, I'm like, did you really need a review? But my advice for what it's worth is I think volume of content will help you. I think that if any of your viewers are in the Reddit community, that if they share your stuff, they could help you. So ask for that. I think being on Twitter and engaging in the anime community and debates on Twitter could help you. I would reach out and try to collab. You know, Geekdom 101 is somebody in the community that actually helps small creators get some attention and break out if he thinks their content is good. So reach out to Daniel from Geekdom 101. Tell him that I said that you should reach out, not right away about a collab, but ask him for some advice, ask him what he thinks about, you know, your stuff, and understand that, like, you know, he may not have time to look at it, but he might, because it looks like you're doing cool stuff. I know he's a big fan of My Hero Academia, so you might be able to talk to him about that. And so there might be something there. So my answer is your production values are fine, your editing is fine, your thumbnails are baller. I like that. I think you're doing fine. I think that volume of content and the fact that you started 2 months ago and you have traction is great. And I would just keep going. And I think that finding communities and you outside of YouTube could help you. So that would be my advice. So yeah. So that's Jiggy Pepper. Let's go to Unbox Warehouse. This is an awesome channel. I've actually done one-on-one, you know, stuff with with this channel. Excuse me. Oh, Christ. What I will say is this is another great small YouTube channel with really good production values, and it's a satirical take on tech reviews and unboxing. So I think that's cool. And again, look at the production values. I mean, guys, production values matter. Editing matters. So when you have good production values, when you can make quality content in terms of the technical quality being good, and you have an on-camera presence and personality, and you have a gimmick, guess what? Don't be surprised that stuff works out from time to time. This thumbnail strategy, I don't know if it will work or not. What I do like is that it's consistent. I do like that it's consistent. I do like the effort in Photoshop. I just don't know about the background thing. I don't know if that background works. I'd almost want you to go to, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I hate people using the color red in YouTube. There's a weird part of me that wants you to go to using a red background and then using white text and seeing what happens. And I somehow think that it would make all the difference in the world. Like, I'm almost convinced that if you figured out, in fact, actually, here's what I think would work. If you did what you're doing now, but you used a red background and blue text with white strokes, I'm weirdly convinced that that would work. From a visual and graphic design standpoint, the contrast of red and blue working in that way would be unique and different enough to where I'm convinced that it would perform and that it would get attention and that would stand out. That's my thought there. The volume is impressive in terms of how much content you're doing, the hustle. I love the backdrop with the brick wall and the wooden table. That's different. And again, look at these production values. Like, understand, small YouTubers make good content. They make good content. They have good editing and production. Some of them, not all of them. But then thumbnails are a big part of that. And then getting your keyword rankings could help. Because let's see what TubeBuddy is saying. You only ranked for one of your keywords. Fight for these keyword rankings, guys. Fight to get 5 or 6 keywords ranked, but keep using multi-level keywords. Don't use, excuse me, single-word keywords. Great. Hiccups. Now I have to deal with hiccups during a live stream. Christ. So yeah. those are things that I would pay attention to, is the optimization of the tags and the thumbnails, which again, it sounds formulaic, but guys, YouTube's an algorithm. It is formulaic because the quality ain't the issue. The quality content is not the issue here, clearly. This is a channel that's doing good as far as quality content, has a niche, has a gimmick, has a hook, has good production values. So when you're getting all of those things right, now you have to play a combination of what does the audience want, what can I do to leverage the algorithm, like there's those things. And clearly you've gotten videos that got views. You got 24K views on this, you got 30K views on this. The satire works. I would say that one of the things that could definitely work is looking at what happened with the nailer. Power tools are something we don't get enough of on YouTube. And just as a guy who grew up watching Home Improvement, I like power tools are fascinating and scary to me. And so watching someone play with power tools that I'm not going to use for fear of losing one of my fingers is always a morbid curiosity of mine. So like, I think other people feel that way. I would experiment with things with that. If you can have weird, quirky products like that sometimes that are power tools, like I think that could be a thing. Now, it may not be the thing for Unbox Warehouse, but in general, I think like a YouTube channel that takes advantage of power tools and tools in general will do very well, just because I think that a lot of people like me see something like that and they either get excited because they're tool people or because they're like, oh God, I would never use that thing because I'll lose a finger doing it. Like, so, or I'll punch a hole in my hand. Like, so I just feel like those things get people excited. So I think that the key in general that I'm getting at is you could figure out things here, especially since you have videos that perform successfully. You can find out what gets your audience excited, and then you could go back to the well of, if my audience got excited because of this, do more of it. But again, you're always balancing as a creator that versus the content you want to do. The content you know will be successful is not always the content that is the content you're excited about doing. Sometimes you get to do both. Primary example, I'm convinced that the content that I do around this and the unboxing video for this will do well. Like this is the new DJI Mavic Air, and it's the Fly More combo. And my old drone is dead and needs to be sent out for repairs. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm not only gonna film an unboxing video of this, but I'll film an unboxing video of this. But before I release that unboxing video, I'll use B-roll and footage from it in a my drone is dead, rest in peace Mavic Pro video, and show my Mavic Pro, and then be like, but, and then, I'll talk about this, and then people will get to watch the unboxing video, my first impressions video, my first flight video, then some videos that I do on tips for getting started with a new drone, and all of those cool things. So like, that's how I'm going to hack into attention while also something I love and something that, like, I spent my own money on, right? And take advantage of that. But then, something that I think will not necessarily perform well that I want to do is lighting tutorials and also lighting gear stuff. So I've got my friends at Aperture and I are working together on that. So they sent me some stuff. But I'm using this as a point for like a tech or a product review channel that there's stuff that won't perform up front, but you'll get some search out of it, so do it. There's stuff that you do because it's sponsored. There's stuff that you do because you got products, so you do those. But then there's stuff that your audience will dig and that has been proven, so you do that as well, and you just figure out the balance. So no, Unbox Warehouse, red background, blue text with white outline, kind of like what you're doing right now. Blue text, white glow, like you're doing now, but with a red background. That's my graphics advice. So yeah. And again, just do a couple of them and see how it performs. So, that's my advice. Amber Craft. Okay, so Amber, first thing, do channel artwork that tells us what your channel is about, because if someone told me to check out your channel, I don't know what it's about right away by doing that, and I should. And then there should be something visually up here that tells me that this is about you as a writer or what your genre of writing is and what your channel is about. So we want context, we want continuity. Think about the way you would think about a book cover, and also think about all of your YouTube video thumbnails the way you would think about a book cover. You know as a writer that books are judged by their cover, not by the quality of the content within initially. That's what gets us. It's the same thing with your YouTube content. Apply the same rules of book selling and of the book world to the YouTube channel. I think it's going to definitely be important for you. And again, that's why I harp on this, guys, and things like the YouTube starter kit, because thumbnails, look at this. This is what you'd be competing with a thumbnail, and then you go to a channel and then you have thumbnails that are not that. It's very hard to get the attention and be competitive. And the new analytics we're going to get are definitely going to reflect that. That being said, if I were a writer, I would definitely, talk about things like you said, the journey to publication, scheduling your writing. I like this idea, but the thumbnails for it don't look enticing enough to bring people in. And again, a book is judged by its cover, and so is YouTube content. So even academic and literary people are going to be thinking in that way. You did a live stream, so I'm not going to judge the quality of video production on a live stream. I'm going to find another video of yours to look at for video quality, because live streams, even with my setup, it's not always perfect. So let's not worry about that. Let's look at a video from a month ago, and intro's decent. You're a vlogger and a mom and an author. Cool, got it. But again, I need that reflected in the channel artwork too. Production values are fine for a talking head style YouTube channel, and then you've got a cool background with books galore, just like my bookshelf. So your production values are fine for talking head style videos, and then you did put up graphics. So I think that you're good there. So the issue isn't can you make quality content. The issue is the fact that the content's not optimized for search properly. So TubeBuddy would definitely help. That's important. And then on top of that, because again, none of this stuff is ranking, and that, oddly enough, 3 of it is, but not for stuff that I think gets enough volume. And then the thumbnails. Again, it comes back to those basic things. It's the basic things. Now, you have less than 100 subscribers, so it's not like and you're a small YouTuber and you're also just getting started. So I don't necessarily expect you to get any of this perfect after just 6 months, any more than I would expect someone who's new to writing to get it perfect after 6 months or a year or whatever. So my advice becomes... sorry, I lost my train of thought because of the cough there. My advice becomes that in the same way that you would need to categorize for search properly a book to be found in the card catalog, you have to do that right with your YouTube videos. And the same way that you would package and design a book very well that you wanted to sell, you have to do the same thing with your YouTube thumbnails. So that's your issue. It's not, and also your channel branding. So it's not the issue as to whether you can make good content. And I'm going to look at your website, and I'm going to see if there's continuity. I mean, your website's designed pretty decently. There's themes, there's colors, there's things. You might need to relate that to your channel and use the colors and themes and graphics and relate that together. So I feel like there's a lot of improvement and a lot of work that can be done. So that's important. And again, for those of you who struggle with thumbnails, besides using the YouTube Starter Kit, an alternative to Photoshop that gives you the same resources is photop.com. They're not a sponsor. I don't get any money from them. And part of it is that they're a free website that basically gives you browser-based Photoshop. I don't think they could afford to work with me. I might be not giving them enough credit, but I just don't necessarily think that they can afford what I charge sponsors now. So, because... now sponsors have to compete with me for my own sponsor plug. Ha ha ha. But Photop, and it's just my browser has too many windows open why it's taking forever to load. But Photop is like an awesome free browser-based version of Photoshop you guys can use. and do YouTube channel artwork. It's something you can combine with the YouTube starter kit when you're getting started. So I would definitely recommend those two things to help you with branding. But I think if you really package this better, that will be the difference, because you're capable of making a good looking video. It's the packaging and the optimization and the branding, and also picking search friendly topics. Search friendly topics, I can't stress that enough for anything that's an education based or niche based or learning based channel or a professional based channel. So that's what my advice would be, Amber. Eco-esque, conservation, wilderness, adventure. I think that this channel artwork could be better as far as how the typography and the text is. But again, I know that I'm a design snob, so just take that with a grain of salt. It's not the worst I've ever seen. The same with these thumbnails. Some of it's good. Some of it, like this one down here, is good for wearing the right gear. Again, not the worst thumbnails I've ever seen, but I think there are aspects of them that can be better. Here is what I'm impressed with, though. You started in a month. You're at 100 subscribers in a month. Congrats on something that is important to you, like conservation and wilderness. You're doing unique content, and you're getting views. You're getting views considering you don't have a subscriber base to pull from, so you're doing something right. Let's check out your production. And this is outdoors, so I know it's going to be different. Oh, God, why is the internet so slow? Flat color profile? Okay, that's an interesting choice. And I can understand it in low light. Pick a more interesting font for text on screen. Solid editing. Obviously, you're working with friends because you got somebody filming for you. Smart. Other people on camera. All right, very cool stuff. All right, oh, wow, that's dark. That's a cave. Wow. All right, so this is interesting to me because I used to like camp in the Boy Scouts and stuff like that. This is the kind of thing that, like, if someone I know shares with me in like Facebook or Twitter, they could get me to like watch this, or if they pull me aside and we just watch it on their TV or on their phone or whatever, I could get into it, right? Like, just like my friend Josh Explores, he does the urban exploring thing. I think that if you look at things like the urban exploring YouTube channels and travel YouTube channels, and you also reverse engineer a lot of what they're doing strategically, but bring it to the exploring nature and the environment, and then have your message about conservation. I also think maybe a better graphic or logo could help, but, you know, that's just me, whatever. You're not doing anything wrong in terms of the quality of your content. And the visual branding and thumbnails aren't bad, and they have been working for you, but I think they could get slightly better. I think that they're good. I don't think they're bad. I think some of them could have been much better. But I like what you're doing, and you've been at it a month, and I think that you're already successful in my mind. Because I think this is really good content. I think it's well made. I think it's thoughtful. I think you have a good message. I think there's a lot that's done right here. I think that some of the branding can be better. I think that some of the packaging can be better. I think that, let me look at your tags. Especially this one about saving the Pacific Northwest. Oh, I like that you threw a time lapse in there. See, this is what I'm talking about. Small YouTubers can make good content. I know plenty of lazy YouTubers with 1 million subscribers, and I'm using lazy in air quotes in this case, in terms of they're not putting in the kind of work to make this kind of level of content from an editing or production standpoint. They're just not. Like, some of this stuff I can tell, like, because of the fact that it happened over the course of days, there was a lot of work here, and sometimes you had more than one person and you used multiple angles and time lapses and GoPros. There are plenty of YouTubers with 1 million or millions of subscribers that's not, like, and again, I'm not really calling them lazy, but I'm just saying comparatively, it's a lot harder to make your type of content than the content that some people make that's very popular on YouTube. And so that's where my feel for small YouTubers sometimes is, in the sense that There's a lot that they do and work harder than people who are much bigger, but obviously that's not the answer, you know. And there's only so much you can do, you know. Um, and there's no amount of shout outs or this or that that makes a difference, to be very real with you, because it's a matter of the fact that you're competing sometimes and when it comes to a mainstream audience, there's only so much you can do to break through. Now, someone, if you got like a Casey Neistat shout out, that would probably change your channel, but you have good content, so it would matter. It would matter for you to get a shout out from like Casey Neistat or Peter McKinnon. But like, I don't think a shout out from me would do anything, because I don't think my type of audience is a fit for that. But an audience that travels, an audience that does adventure, an audience that likes going to different places and seeing the world, and that follows a photography or filmmaking channel would actually really dig your channel. Travel YouTubers would. So collabs could be in your future and things of that nature. I would love to see your content get in front of YouTubers that are filmmakers and photographers. Wow, I'm losing my voice. That dig nature clearly and care about that message. Getting your content in front of them could get you exposure to a mainstream audience and could get you awareness. But I think you have an interesting channel. Clearly, this is not something that's saturated in YouTube. You're doing, I think, a meaningful thing. And I think you're more of a filmmaker than anyone would give you credit for. So start thinking about that and what that looks like. It's hard because I don't know how actionable my advice is for you versus it being philosophical in nature. I pride myself on giving actionable advice, but I know that what you're doing is a rough thing, and you also have a good cause, and like you're saying that you're doing it for fun as a hobby, but I think this could be something. I don't know if it's something you make a living at, but I do think it's something you can make a difference with. So, I don't know that this is something that becomes a profitable YouTube channel or a big YouTube channel. But I think it could be a YouTube channel that makes a difference. Unbox Warehouse is saying I should stay live until I hit 300,000 subs. I can't. I'm sick. I'm losing my voice as it is. And if I lose my voice, I won't be able to film anything this weekend. And I kind of need to. I have stuff I could edit, but I need to film this weekend. So after this and after a few more reviews, I literally have to just rest and drink tea. Because I think I'm pushing it with this live stream as is. This live stream should have only been 90 minutes, to be real with you, for my health. But, you know. So, yeah. So, Eco-esque, great job. And I like what you're doing. And I think you can make something of it. Patty Broussard, 1.6K subscribers. It's hard for me to understand what the channel is about at a glance. Let's see if going into the channel's videos makes it any more clear. So I think this is covers. I think this is music covers. And with music covers, it's hit or miss, clearly. Thumbnails ultimately can make a difference, but also I think that it's the fact that you're doing what I think is Array Mibra, which is something that's very unique. So if you're doing something that's that unique, then I think that there's a community around that, but then you can't deviate from that and your channel can't be all over the place. So it becomes very challenging, I think, regarding that. Let's see what a video looks like. And then I'm not sure that the thumbnail and channel artwork does it justice. Yeah, see, decent production values, nothing over the top. And it's something that is definitely a unique thing. This is a niche thing. Like, you know, just like sewing or knitting, this is a hobby-based thing. It's a niche. So I think you have to focus on that. But I also think that the thumbnails have to be right, and I think that you can't deviate. So it's hard with a very specific micro niche because there's no normal, there's nothing to compare it to, there's no clear expectation where the growth is concerned. My big takeaway would be strong thumbnails based in photography instead of graphics in this case, and I think that that would do well. So I hope that helps. Alpha J Show. Yeah, I like this as a commentary and review channel. I think it's one of the dopest ones out there if you like cartoons at all. Really surprised the Danny Phantom one isn't performing better, even though I know it's been one day. I would have thought that that would be performing better. But your stuff usually does well eventually, just because of what it is and because of recommended and because of your fan base and audience. This is a channel that taps into fandom very well. I like what you're doing with thumbnail strategy. Clearly some things are hitting better than others. I think that the more nostalgia, the better, because I think that you know which things have the biggest, most loyal fan bases, and I think that there could be an angle to prioritizing that, but I don't know how you've queued up your videos. So prioritizing would be the issue. You do good quality content, you like know your stuff, and you even took a unique angle to streaming with doing it like this way, like with the graphic. Like I dig like simple but clever ideas are always fascinating to me. So I like what you do, man. I've watched your stuff. I watched the Looney Tunes one the other day, actually. I think I left you a comment on it. But like nostalgia is a powerful thing to tap into from a fan base standpoint, and your commentary is very good. Your edits are smart. The way that you approach things, I dig it. I don't have a big recommendation or takeaway from you. And I gave you just a little love and said solid review. I didn't even leave a poignant comment. But I like that you drop hearts on your viewers and you reply to them. A lot of channels with over 10,000 subscribers don't do that. You have 64K. So I think the engagement matters. I think that something that could help you is if you have fans that are in the Reddit community and they can share your content in the first 24 hours, that for you, since when you have a fan base, if your fan base has anybody that's active in Reddit, that could be a boon for your channel, especially that first 24 hours when you really need to hit the algorithm. So, my advice is to take advantage of that strategically. That's the biggest takeaway I have for you, because it's hard to give you any more advice because I gave you the best advice in our one-on-one consulting session and in your previous channel reviews, and you're a successful channel. So it's hard to give advice to a successful channel. Like, you know, you get more average views on upload than I do. Like, so it's like, there are things I could give you advice on. Some of them are more granular, but for the sake of this kind of review, the main thing is that you're doing a lot right and other channels could learn from you. But for you, prioritizing what's working the best is the advice that you need to pursue. When you do stuff about Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon specifically, it performs. And you know that. And there are series that you could go back to, and I know you're trying to do new stuff and not always go back to the well, but boy, when you do certain things, it gets like a massive amount of views. And when you do other things, not so much. So I think that if you prioritize in that way, then you end up having good things happen to you, like what happened to my friend Geekdom 101, what happened to my friend Mike Lucas, Bijou Mike, with him getting 1 million subscribers. I think that when you figure out what's working and you do more of what's working, magic happens. How to Automotive. Almost 20,000 subscribers. Not sure why you wanted a review. You're crushing it if you have like 20,000 subscribers. You are getting some views, it looks like. Let's see how you're doing lately, though. Ah, that's why. Okay, so you've crushed it and gotten like some big viewed videos, but lately views have been more stagnant. Changing up the thumbnail game a little bit from just the blue how-to automotive text, the branding, I don't think that's helping as much as it's hurting. I think that just really dope photography in your thumbnails, like look at like Peter McKinnon from a photography standpoint and ask yourself when you're doing a thumbnail, what would Peter McKinnon do? What snapshot would he take that's the most interesting thing that I could put in a thumbnail? And then I would do that. How-to content usually does very well overall just because of the search equity. Let's look at what your tags and descriptions are. Okay. Leading with a link isn't helping you. Repeat the how to clean part in the first line of the description. Your thing will do better. Like, real talk. I mean, like this... Like, if we go to MORNINGFAME, and we research this, the description for your video should straight up be, yeah. I know that my channel isn't like primed to rank for. Watch this. If we go how to clean automotive electrical terminals and we use that as the first line of the description, we automatically move from a D to a B in relevance. How are you guys not doing this? Like, I've talked about this so many times in the how to rank YouTube videos. Like, this by itself. Oh my God. Like, it's the thing. Oh, and Mike, for training, instead of sending people to robertoblake.com, I'm sending people to awesomecreatoracademy.com. So, awesomecreatoracademy.com. Yeah. So, 7 Lex Ferry. I'm tired of you repeating yourself in the chat. Yes. Super chats, receive channel reviews, frowny face. That's how it is. I made the rules. I'm doing super chats even though I'm sick and I should be resting right now. I'm doing reviews even though I'm sick and I should be resting right now. That's how it is. Time is money. And if I gave reviews to everybody who asked for free, I'd be sitting here for 5 hours sick, dying, losing my voice because nobody would care enough about me to not take advantage of it. Like, because that's how it is, right? So, sorry. But I'm acknowledging what you said. But I'm tired of seeing it repeated over and over and over because everybody else kind of gets it at this point and gets that it's impractical for me to do that. So if your goal was to rile me up and get me to say something about it, congrats. Oi. I need more cough medicine. But yeah, MORNINGFAME. MORNINGFAME. Do you see that we move from B to D in rank literally just by replicating our title in the first line of the description by itself, let alone if it's in the tags of the description? That relevancy makes a difference, and it just moves us to A rank in relevancy for our thing. So when you're trying to figure out this whole ranking and tagging thing for how-to content, you have to structure your descriptions in a much more meaningful way to the search bar and the algorithm in that regard. And let me see how you're ranking for some keywords. So kudos to you, but like it can be better. It can always be better. And for the most important thing that you're trying to rank for, crap, that would matter. Ugh, hate being sick. So, yeah. The ranking aspect of it becomes important. And combine that with better thumbnail shots. And you don't need the blue text for how-to automotive. You don't need that branding. And this will do better. You also could organize this possibly differently in terms of the custom layout. I'd like to see some of the more recent videos earlier on. The popular videos are certainly, they make the channel look good, but I'd like to see more recent stuff early on as well. Production values. For what this is actually pretty good in production values. And that top-down, like, GoPro-like view is really good for things like this with automotive. And, like, car guys and tool guys and gals would really be into this. So, like, I don't think your quality of content is a problem. I think that a lot of it's the visual branding and the optimization. I also think that algorithmically, you're being hurt by taking traffic off YouTube to your website. I understand why you're doing that as another business person, but understand that there is some of that that's hurting you. It may not be overwhelming, but it is like bad. So YouTube prioritizes keeping people on the site. So taking people to your own website from YouTube can negatively impact you algorithmically in the first 24 hours of your content. So that's something to think about. And that's my advice, because again, your content is good and it's how-to content. So you have to get optimization right for a how-to channel, and you have to be competitive on your thumbnails beyond a reasonable doubt. So we just got one more person to want a channel review, so we'll do that last one, and then I'm gonna rest because I'm losing my voice. Also, we have some super chats I do need to acknowledge. Oh, and there's one more. Oh, there's another channel review, Fly Ride, I have to do. So we'll look at that one as well. Which is another automotive channel, so that's interesting. So we'll look at those. And then I have to go. Reina Itana, just seizing the rare opportunity when your lives are compatible with European time to say thanks for everything. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Picture Fit says, what's up, brother? Enjoying my growth, but any extra insight would be dope. And then we have Old Mom, New Tricks, and so that's one of the reviews we're doing along with Fly Ride. And then I'm gonna go lay down. So Fly Ride, automotive, automotive lighting. So first of all, dope channel artwork, digging that. That's cool. Definitely think that looks nice. 12K subscribers, congrats. You do have a community. I like the thumbnails. It looks like you might have used the YouTube starter kit or something similar to it to do some of those. So that's awesome. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Let's look at what's going on here. 12K subscribers. You're not always doing hot on views, but your niche, if you're getting car guys, you run into a little bit of a problem with your niche, is that you're not going to be able to activate the majority of your subscribers, because the dudes who love cars are also spending time working on their cars more than watching YouTube videos to make the money to have these cars. They've got to be working some high-end job, so they have less disposable watch time, so that's always hard. And then you can't do super short videos that would get attention and say, oh, I could just watch that real quick, because that doesn't do justice to the type of content you're doing. So your content all plays the long game, and I can respect that because it's hard. It's rough. My channel's the same way, dude. So I understand how hard it is to do a how-to channel, and it's hard to activate most of your subscriber base because they've got real jobs, you know? But your old content proves that over time your videos will perform because you've got dope content, and over time it will stack up. So you got to keep playing that long game. Clearly your thumbnails are good. Your brand is good. Let's look at something recent for your production values. Clearly, you know that you have to do some of the things that have been proven to work on your channel, so you need to go back into your analytics and find the stuff that worked the most and got the most engagement, the most views, and do more of that content. How to, obviously, is the big thing that will help you. So a lot of how-to and tapping into brands and trends will help you. This stuff looks good. Let's take a look at a piece of content you did to look at production and see if there's any advice I have to give you there. It almost looked like in the main camera thing, it looks like either you did some warp stabilization even when you were on camera with your face, either that or something with the lens being too wide, because it's like it's making your face feel flat where it shouldn't, especially compared to other angles. So start to be aware of that and look at that. But your production values are good. Your editing is good. So don't sweat it too much. Nice use of telling people about the notifications. Smart. Good motion graphics. So Chris, like, the one thing production-wise I'd say is figure out what's happening when you're doing the close-ups, because it's somehow the lens distortion is affecting your head shape and it's making your face feel flat compared to other angles, and that's just weird. To me, it's slightly distracting. I don't know if it affects your main audience or not. I'm just noticing that, and just from a filmmaking standpoint, maybe that helps you out. Your content is well produced. It looks like hard to do stuff, to be very real with you. And to explain it. And my dad was a mechanic, so like I totally get that. Good use of motion graphics, by the way. My advice to you is that you need to tap into communities outside of YouTube that you can siphon traffic from in a big way. I think Reddit and Facebook. I think building a Facebook group around your channel and the content and a community for car enthusiasts will help you. I think there's that angle of it. So I think that those things could definitely be a big help to you. I think you could actually crush it in Instagram, to be real with you as well. And there might be some things that help your overall brand with that. I think in your case, you have to respond to every single comment. And you might be. Yep, it looks like you are, so good job. But I also think optimizing the videos, you're not optimizing as well. Just like we talked about before, taking that how to customize your headlights and 12 tips to open with no damage, putting that as the first line would definitely help you with rankings. I think you do need more search optimization. Rankings, you're doing okay, but you could rank for more things. Try to rank for twice as many things, and I think that that would help you. And I think you have to really push distribution in that first 24 hours. So I think that those things would be helpful to a channel like yours. So that's my advice on your review, because it isn't like you're not making good content, dude. You're making really good content, and you do have a community. But the problem for you is always going to be the fact that, like, your community may not have time to watch your videos up front at the time that it helps you the most. But if you can get more of them on Notification Squad, if you get more of them to watch in 24 hours, if you get more shares in first 24 hours, that will substantially help your channel perform better and reach new audiences and grow more. But again, it's rough for you just because, again, you have an audience that they don't always have the time to watch when it would help your channel the most. Like, that's so hard for anyone that has an older audience, or an audience that is working a day job. Like, I mean, that's real. When you reach students and you reach kids, it's easier. That's the easier part. It's harder to compete for that, but once you have them, it's easier. But it's not like it's easy overall. Like Alpha J could tell you, you know, like, so, I mean, just kind of keep that in mind, man, and keep swinging, keep hustling, because, like, you do good content. Old mom, new tricks. So, mommy vlogger. Okay, that's cool. And interesting thumbnails. They get my attention. I'm not even sure if these are good thumbnails yet, but I think they are, because they get my attention, and that's what matters. Let's see what's going on with this channel. Yeah, these are good thumbnails. They're a little busy for my taste, but they might be right for that audience. And they're getting the views. Considering you have like 1,000 subscribers, these are getting the right amount of views. So what you're doing is working. I'm not sure you needed a channel review from me because you're clearly doing something that's working, and more of it would just scale over time. How long have you been doing this? If you've been doing this for a year or less, then you're on the right track for sure. All right, it looks like, yeah, less than a year. About a year, less than a year. So you're on the right track. You're at 1,000 subscribers. You're getting the views that go with that. Channel's growing. Let's see what a typical video looks like. Decent intro. Intro could be too long. Maybe not. I don't know. Could be right for that kind of audience. Production values look fine for what it is. Yeah. All right, so you got good production values, good editing, all good branding. Optimization could be better because, again, you're leading with tell people to subscribe versus anything that could help you in search and distribution and suggested. So, guys, stop squandering the description box to do things that you think you need to do and focus on the algorithm for the description box. Please, 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 please. Human beings don't even read the description box half the time, so just give the description box to the algorithm and your life will get better. That's what I do. So I think that my big takeaway for you is that, number one, and using TubeBuddy and MorningFame and vidIQ helps with the optimization things. As I demonstrated again. Thumbnail game is strong. Thumbnail game is strong. I like that. Branding, I'm okay with this. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. And your production values are good. So you're making good content. Your stuff looks good, feels good. The main advice for you would be optimization and to keep going and to tap into trends in your audience and in your niche. So, yeah. Crap. So that would be the main advice that I have for you, and to do things that have historically performed on the channel very well. Doing more of that content that there's a demand for will clearly work for you, and that would be why I consider to be good advice on that. All right, so let's see what you guys are saying in chat real quick. So yeah, that's our YouTube channel reviews, you know, and that's me like sitting here like coughing up a lung on camera. Unbox Warehouse, you emailed me a new thumbnail. Awesome. I'll take a look. You know, let's see. Sensational Life says the site won't let me sign up, only sign in, but I don't have an account. DM me on Twitter about it and let me know, and I'll try and figure out what's going on. Yeah, I'll try and figure out what's going on the back end. If I can, just DM me on Twitter so that I can help you with the login issue if there's one. So let's see what else is going on. Reina, Atana, focusing on your website for now. Awesome. Yeah. Focusing on your website. Super important. Let's see. Spectre TV, if I had any money, I'd give Roberto a super chat for some tea or something right now. I appreciate that. I would love some tea right now. Like, some tea would literally probably save my life right now. That would, that would probably be really good for me. Let's see. Beanie Draw says, I just don't understand how people can't apply what Roberto says about other channels and apply that information to their own channel. Yeah, I struggle with that too, Beanie Draws, and I appreciate you sticking up for me. Like, I think that it's a problem with people's imagination with reverse engineering, and that's why I've had to do things like training and courses and one-on-one coaching, and it's fine. The difference is it's fine when people want to invest in that to say that they need that extra step, but it's a hard ask for something specific if you aren't going to invest in it versus something general. If you can't afford to invest in yourself, you have to take general information. You have to be a reverse engineer. You have to be creative. You have to have an imagination. And if you can't solve a problem on your own and you lack the imagination to do so, then if you're going to ask someone for help, you have to be willing to meet them halfway. And if they tell you what that help looks like and what it takes, then they have to be willing to do that. Because if they're not, then they're just asking to siphon value from you and give you nothing in return. And that's not the fairest thing for anybody. So I just, I appreciate you sticking up for me, but I do understand why people can't reverse engineer. Some people just don't have it in their mentality or the way that their brain works or they think. I'm a visual spatial learner and a pattern recognition person, but that's my skills, right? I'm not as good at learning something just by watching someone else do it. My brother's a wizard at that. He can watch someone do something and then he can copy them like a mimic. I can do a little bit of that. I'm not as good as it. So everyone has a different learning style, and I've tried to build an education brand that helps people with different learning styles and creates different levels of, here's free stuff, here's stuff that's reasonably priced, here's stuff that's more of an investment, here's stuff that's a bigger commitment. And the issue is, of course, that people sometimes just won't respect it. Sometimes they just won't respect it, and that point of view is because they don't have it, and 1,000 pieces of something free isn't good enough for some people. There's some people that I can give and give and give and give and give and give for free, and it will never bloody be good enough for some of them. They will want to take everything they possibly can and never give anything back. There's just some people like that, and that's just what it is, and you learn to live with it. You learn to live with it. You learn not to let it get you down. You learn not to let it get depressing, and the great thing is there are enough of you that support what people like me do, that understand, and that are really great about it, and I appreciate you guys, and it makes up the difference for the people who just want to take. And sometimes it's not that those people are selfish, it's that they're just feeling more desperate because their situation just is what it is, and that's whatever. But it's harder and harder every day to be more sympathetic toward that when I see so many of you hustling and doing the right things and investing and figuring things out on your own when you can't do that. And then when I see other people that don't match up to what you guys' actions are, that are working and hustling and learning and doing it, or making incremental small investments in yourself, like when I see people not even willing to do that, and people who are going to just take and take and take and then literally still quit in 6 months because they don't feel like they're getting what they want out of their experience, like, that's disappointing. And that gets discouraging, whether it's me. Hell, I've literally seen Gary Vaynerchuk get discouraged by it. I've seen Gary Vee get discouraged by the fact that people in his community are watching him and being entertained and using him as escapism and not hustling and changing their life. If it gets to Gary Vee, it gets to someone like me. Like, I talk to people at conferences who go through this all the time with their community about feeling like there are some people in there that are like, they just want to take. There's some people who what you do is never good enough for them. There's some people that complain about everything. And then there are people that you really want and are rooting for that give up too easily or get discouraged too easily, or that you wonder how many times they're going to have to watch you before they commit to actually taking what you've given them and doing something with it and applying themselves because they have the talent, and you're watching that talent be squandered. That's the hardest thing in the world. The hardest thing in the world for me is to watch people that I think are more talented than me not be successful because they don't have the right mentality. or they won't invest in themselves, or they won't give themselves the time, or they're so wildly impatient because they think they're entitled to something right away, or they don't think they're getting what they deserved, and so then all they do is complain instead of work harder. Like, that's the discouraging, really disappointing, hard thing to live with sometimes. But there are enough people that do make it, that do work hard, that do invest, that do commit, and those people make it worthwhile to keep showing up and to keep helping and to keep seeing the success stories. And I love hearing you guys' success stories. I love that there are some of you that are like, you have 10 or 20,000 subscribers and you're crushing it and you still feel like you can do better, so you're asking for advice. And I'm like, wow, do you even need advice? But everyone needs advice. Everyone needs help. I have people that I reach out to and I go, hey, am I doing everything I can? Like, there are new things and new challenges all the time, like Instagram or course launches or product funnels, where I reach out to people that I think are smarter than me or more experienced, or they can offer something different. And like, you know, and I keep investing in myself. I keep buying books. I keep buying gear. I keep going to conferences, even just for myself to be training. And I am my friend Chris Ducker. Who's my mentor? My friend Chris Ducker. I'm in his mentoring group. I'm learning podcasting from my friend Pat Flynn. Like, even I have mentors. Even I have coaches. And that's the point, is that you can always get better and you should always keep swinging. You should always keep looking for another level. But there is also oh, and don't worry, there's one more that I almost forgot that I'm going to definitely get to. But there is something to it. There is something to investing in yourself and understanding what you have to do to go to your next level. There really is. And those of you who get that, you will be more successful. The ones of you who don't are going to continue to wonder why things aren't changing for you, and you're going to keep thinking the system is rigged against you, and you're going, you know, so like that's something that I really want more people to pay attention to. I want more people to take a very, very hard look at the commitment that they're willing to make to their own success. Like, it super matters. We do have another channel review that I definitely want to get to. It was an early one, and that's why I missed it. So, CKC. First of all, dope channel artwork. This is what good channel artwork looks like, ladies and gentlemen, because one, you got the branding, you got a good color scheme, it's consistent. It tells you exactly what you're getting. Cruelty-free and conscious beauty equals Tuesdays and Thursdays, maybe Saturdays. So automatically we know what the context of the channel is, the design is good, and it's telling us what the schedule is. That's something most people don't get right. And then you got an Instagram. I'm going to check out this Insta real quick. Okay, you got a good following on Insta. Very good photos here on Insta. And you're doing really good on likes and engagement for having 1,000 followers on Instagram. So, so that's well done. 2,000 subscribers. You've been at this at about 2 years. Let's see what's going on. So first of all, your thumbnail game is strong, and given your Instagram game, I was like, yeah, it better be. Like, right? Now, this is really good with regard to thumbnails. So what's going on with views? You get views sometimes, and it's based on certain products. Sometimes it's hit or miss. What's the best performing thing on the channel? Acne was the best performing thing on the channel. A 5-part series on acne probably would break out and get you a bigger audience. Because again, look at this. You got these small channels, and they can hit it out of the park sometimes. But sometimes it's not consistent enough. But yeah, avoid doing. Well, maybe if you're gonna do vlogs, don't call them vlogs in the title. Like, that's another thing that I want to encourage people to do, is you can make content that in effect becomes a vlog. Just stop calling it a vlog, though. like, don't do YouTuber-y things. Like, really don't do YouTuber-y things. Make interesting titles, and the format of the video can be a vlog. The content can be a vlog. Don't call it a vlog in the title. So yeah, we see what's been performing on your channel. Make more of what's been performing. Minimalist makeup, I could see minimalist makeup being a series. Make a series, a 4, 3, or 5-part series on minimalist makeup. I think that would do really successful. K-pop inspired stuff, I think there could be whole things that you do with that. And K-pop has a really great fan base and culture. I'm into it, you know. K-pop and J-pop is a big thing for me. Big fan of Boa, Ayumi Hamazaki, Kodakumi, things of that nature. G-Dragon. But yeah, there's things you can tap into. There are things you could tap into with brands and culture. Brands could definitely be a big deal for potentially getting on their radar for sponsorship later. He did a video 2 days ago. Let's see what it looks like. Anti-aging. Honest Beauty, anti-aging serum review, first impression. Before. All right, so you're doing the before and after thing. I dig that. Very good camera quality, nice aesthetic. The problem is you might be going too much on the blurry background. You could probably dial it back. It looks like you're shooting at something like f1.8. You could probably dial it back to f2.8 or f4 and be okay, because I don't like that sometimes I can see a shift in the focus happening. So you're going too much with the blurry background, but it'll live. Somebody's saying 300K subscribers, 115 live viewers, something is wrong. Nothing's wrong. It's called 3 things. The YouTube algorithm. It's called I have adults in my audience that got real day jobs and got kids and need to be cooking dinner right now. It's also called I've been on stream for almost 3 hours. People ain't got time like that. It's like the next time somebody talks to me about my view to subscriber ratio, I'm going to reach through the internet and I'm going to reach through the internet and I'm going to run them through with my red lightsaber. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to use the full power of the dark side. Like, that's what's going to happen the next time someone talks to me about my view to subscriber ratio. I'll be unleashing the full wrath of the dark side. I'll send the Mandalorian bounty hunters after them. Like, that's what's going to happen, because I think that if you understand that you're dealing with adults, YouTube and view to subscriber ratios and massive views, you know what that's for? That's for the Jake and Logan Pauls of the world that get to pander to 13 to 17-year-olds who have disposable watch time and spend 4 hours of their day watching YouTube videos because they ain't got a day job, they ain't got bills, they ain't got kids, they ain't got crap to do. So thank you. I like my community. My community is older people, smarter people, savvier people. They ain't got time like that. I respect the time they do give me, each and every one of them. And more importantly, I respect the fact that they hustle and that they want to build businesses. And I respect that they help support my businesses. So that's my rant. You guys can enjoy that. So yeah, like, super tired about hearing about that and like something's wrong with my view to subscriber ratio and everything like that, or oh, you must be sub-botting, bro, or blah blah blah. I'm like, ain't nobody got time for sub-buying. Ain't nobody got time for buying subscribers and everything like that. Try paying $20,000 a freaking year in taxes and then tell me about buying subscribers as if you got money for that, right? Like, real talk. So the you know, that's YouTube life. The YouTube life is you get like people that are either haters or wonderfully naive. And that's the YouTube community as a whole in a lot of cases. So, yeah, that's great. That's great. And then people wonder why people get burnt out on this platform, why people get discouraged, or why people quit and everything like that. I mean, even Jake's actually been trying to do better with his content, but he's getting burnt out, and he's like trying to run another business, and he's trying to actually get smarter and savvier. I see him trying. I give him a lot of crap sometimes, but I actually see him working really hard. And even he is like, oh, I can't be doing this every day anymore. Like, you know, so like people don't get it. Like if they're not living it, like a lot of times, and that's frustrating because no matter how much you explain it to people don't get it. Anyway, back to the review. So you have quality content, hands down. What's going on is, in this case, this is a good description, by the way. This is a smart description. It's not overdoing anything. Let's see what's happening with your search rankings. Search rankings are good, but the issue might be that there aren't enough of them that have search volume. There might not be enough search volume for some of these topics. Moderators, putting people on timeout is better than blocking them outright, unless they're just being vulgar or they're just being a troll. So putting people on timeout is better than blocking them. But I appreciate you guys helping out. We're having a slow load. Oh, I almost forgot about Watchtower R. I still get it. Don't worry, I'm gonna get you now. I'm gonna get you now. I won't wait for next time. I'll get you now. Wow, it's still come on. I don't know why it's being slow, but the thing is, I think that there could be an issue with some of the topics for the things you're doing aren't getting enough search volume, meaning that it's not trending enough. I think that strategically, things that are trending, even if it's already been done, giving your perspective on it is important, and I think it taps you into a larger audience. Growth for some of you that are in mainstream categories means tapping into trends and things that already have attention and using that as a funnel to get your channel out there. So I think that that's something that strategically a lot of you need to consider, because again, you could have a channel like this one that's not doing anything wrong, but then is still struggling to break out and get views. And there's still things she's doing right with regard to the algorithm. You're doing good things and it's working. But I think that strategically, the content strategy, you have to tap into mainstream awareness somehow. So you have to figure that out. You have to fight that battle. And then I think that's where you win. Big Rick Machine. The Crushing It giveaway is not over. In fact, we've actually still got some copies for Instagram. So if you're down with my Instagram notification squad, we still have copies of Crushing It by Gary Vee to give away on Instagram versus YouTube. And Instagram, actually, I think it's easier to do contests, to be real with you. And so there's that. But yeah. Kay, I think you're doing an excellent job with your channel. I think you just have to tap more into trends. You have to tap into mainstream awareness. I think you have to look at the best performing content on your channel and do more content around that, and possibly serialized like stuff. And I think that that would matter. So yeah. And then I know I thought I queued up Watchtower's channel, but I'm going to find it and then I'll queue it up. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know how I missed that one. Yeah, I don't know how I missed Watchtower R. I know how. It's because I'm sick. That's how. All right, so gaming discussion, lore, and live streams, new content daily. That's aggressive. Daily. All right, so let's try to figure out your content. You got 300 subscribers, so you're doing something right. How long have you been at it? That's an interesting question. Oh, wow. You've been at it less than 6 months. So 300 subscribers, less than 6 months. That's pretty good. There's no normal to that, by the way. Like, nobody, like, should believe that there's a normal to, like, YouTube. There's literally not a normal. So there's no, oh, you should have this in, like, 3 months, 6 months, 1 month, blah, 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 So there's no normal to those things, so I wouldn't worry about it. And it's everyone's audience is unique. That's the other thing I can't seem to get across to people, is that, like, every single audience in YouTube is unique, and that makes a difference. All right, so for your live shows, you still need to differentiate the background, not just the text. The background still needs to be different enough, and some of these thumbnails are too repetitive to where your audience could get confused and think it's the same thing. So I think that you need to figure that out and make things that are different enough with the thumbnails so that people don't get confused. Let's see what a typical video from you looks like. Oh, this is like an Iron Giant, like, voiceover, old Age of Ultron thing, I guess. So since I'm not hearing the audio, it won't do it justice. Let's see if there's anything else. Like, let's see what else you got. Because, I mean, it's an interesting idea, but it's like, it doesn't necessarily, I don't necessarily think that fits what you say the channel is, if that makes sense. All right, so it looks like you're doing a gaming / commentary channel. I'll be real with you. A gaming commentary channel is hard to do. It's hard to do. It's competitive. It's hard to tap into, and it takes forever to find your voice. And the thing is, while there might be strategic advice I can give you, the problem is that it's wrong in a sense to give you strategic advice for the type of channel your channel is, because it's your views and your opinion and your commentary on things, and it's about what you want to do. But until you figure out a voice that works with a strategy, you might have to be a hobby channel and just experiment and see what you like, because the problem is that you're doing all these different things, because I think from my perspective, what I'm seeing is that you are having fun with this, and I don't want to tell you something that takes away or discourages you from having fun with this, because for right now, and maybe for the next year or 6 months, maybe that's all you should do, is have fun and get good at editing and figure out what your voice is and what you want to do, because I don't think you have a focus yet. And I think that I don't know that you ever will, and I don't have context on, because when I see people do channels with this stuff, it's because they want to talk to other people about the things that interest them, and they also want to feel like they're part of the YouTube community, and you should just do that. If you're going to do that, though, I don't think you can worry about growing. So it's tough. It's really tough. And that's why it's hard to give you advice, because aside from saying I think your thumbnails could be better in this case, and that, wow, there's no cohesive theme despite what the channel implies, I feel like the problem is that this is a channel that's an outlet for you creatively, so I don't want to discourage that by giving you something tactical to do just yet, because I think that you don't necessarily right now, unless you find something that you're so passionate about that you want to commit to it exclusively, I don't think you should, but I think that means you will stay a hobby channel that doesn't grow a lot until you find your voice. And then when you find your voice and find your focus, things will change. But maybe you should be a hobby channel for you. Maybe that's what my advice for you should be, is that you should have fun with it. You should experiment and you should explore, because if you were really passionate about something, one thing, I wouldn't have to tell you to focus on it, because you'd be obsessed. And that's the difference of when people, you know, that's the difference for people. you know? So that's what I think my advice to you really is that Mike Polas, I don't know what channel that is. Oh wait, it's the This Is Chrissy. I'll give it a quick peek and then I'm really gonna go. Like seriously. New uploads daily. So it's a daily family vlog. It's probably a new channel. Thumbnails aren't terrible, but could be better. Better photography would make a difference combined with the general thing that's being done here. The problem is that with a beginning family vlog channel without a cohesive theme and without theme topics, and it's just vlogging family life, that's not by itself interesting enough usually to draw in an audience. You need a theme, a hook, a story arc, and then every video needs to be episodic in nature in some kind of way. And so it has to be something that's relatable to other people with families specifically, rather than just an expression of the day-to-day life of your family. And that's harder to say and harsh to say for family vloggers, but it's the reality of what I'm analyzing from reviewing and doing consults with family vloggers is that vloggers in general, it becomes very much I'm just going to live my life on camera. That's not a strategy for growth. There are people who went to accidental fame with that, but they were not competing when that happened. There wasn't competition when that happened for them a lot of times, and frankly, some of them just got lucky. So, that being said, I think that you have to think like a sitcom, but then not exploit a situation for that purpose, and it's hard to do. A family vlogging channel, my friend Tim Schmoyer can tell you about this, it's hard to do a family vlogging channel and grow and be successful because you are balancing the strategic needs of catering to an audience, of catering to an algorithm, with putting your family out there and being very vulnerable, which is why thematically, I think people love and enjoy family vloggers. I think that it's also the hardest content that you could probably want to do because it's a content that easily you could have to cut the whole thing in the best interest of your family, or you can question things about your family, and there's an effect that it can have on your actual family. YouTube in general has a lot of destructive potential for personal lives, interpersonal relationships, human personal growth and development because of what being a successful YouTuber would demand of people, which is why people burn out. And I'm not trying to be discouraging. I'm actually just concerned when it comes to family. So that's what my worry is when I see anyone doing like a family vlogging channel, and then daily, I think puts a lot of pressure on you. So those are things that I immediately become concerned about more than the tactical part of it, because I could tell you the tactical part of it, but the tactical part of it may not fit what's right for your family, and I don't want you to then like prioritize that. That's why when I do a one-on-one with people, we have to have a very candid conversation about those kind of things, because what if there comes a point where your kids don't want to be on camera anymore, or Lord forbid, what if there ever becomes a safety issue with your family? So those things always concern me. And so, I mean, your production values are fine for family vlogging. Family vlogging never has to be over the top. So, like, cute kids, like, all those things. But realistically, and again, I'm not trying to be discouraging, because there's some people that it changes their family's life because they become successful at this. But I always am very concerned about the lines with YouTubers and their personal life when it comes to the vlogging genre. And I'm also concerned with turning that into a business or something that you're trying to become successful at. It's always a concern, because no matter how well-intentioned anything is, there's always the potential for that kind of thing to go sideways one way or the other. the business suffers or the reality of your family suffers at some point. Because I mean, I can tell you, even with the type of content I do, it's rough on my personal life. Or rather, it's why I don't have one. No, but I do kind of like have one, but it's like I've always been an introverted person. I've always had X amount of friends, and then I moved, and so starting over with that is difficult. But like there's but you know, then there's family stuff. But even with that, then there like people like don't see you. There are people in my fan base that see me more than my cousins or more than some of my best friends, like honestly. So there's always the balance of that, and that's the real challenge. Like, and that may not be what you wanted from a channel review beyond the basics of do better thumbnails, play to the algorithm, but I'm giving you what I think is the most heartfelt advice I can give you, because I have a genuine concern for anybody that reveals a large portion of their personal life or their family life in the form of online content in YouTube and then is trying to grow that. It's something that I always am worried about, and it's something that I think doesn't get spoken enough about with regard to the fact that it's challenging to grow at all in YouTube when you're first getting started. The emotional value attached to growth around content that you are so invested in because it's about your family, that's going to be rough. So I think you have to look at what successful family vloggers have done, but specifically look at the ones that haven't burnt out, haven't, like, their family hasn't suffered anything for it, or hasn't had major concerns or security risk, or people who've gotten unhealthy attachments to the family as a result. And I think you have to study that and really think about that. I think you have to look at what they are doing well and doing, but also what they're doing right when it comes to their family. And then I think that's what becomes important. So these last two reviews were harder and were very different because while there's tactical, practical things that you could say about those genres and those channels, it becomes difficult because of the actual human beings and people behind that type of content. The Geeking Monk asks, please tell this why so many time tags should come up in a video description, because people say it's more than 3%. I think people are overthinking that. I think anyone worrying about that is worried about the wrong thing, to be real with you. So that's my answer. Yep. Thanks guys for all the support on the whole being sick thing. It always sucks to be sick. It really sucks to be sick. Like, I hate being sick. It's the thing that I can't stand. It's really rough. And this flu, like, that I got Social Media Marketing World, somebody came to Social Media Marketing World with the flu and got all of us freaking people that have to hustle for a living sick. It's insanity, you know. So anyway, I've got to run here, guys, but that's it for channel reviews. Thank you guys for tuning in to another live stream. It was dope to cover the stories that we talked about with YouTube Live's changes, the changes in YouTube Analytics, and so that's pretty cool. Christian asked, do you ever offer coupon codes for the one-on-one channel reviews? Nope, because that's time. So no, I don't offer coupon codes on that. Maybe in the future we'll figure something out with that, but no. But I do offer coupons and discounts on my products, like the YouTube Starter Kit. So there's a discount code for you guys in the description, but it's got a time clock on it. So small YouTubers, there is a discount code for you. We have a new course at Awesome Creator Academy for those who are struggling to make quality content. And that course is the formula for awesome videos over at awesomecreatoracademy.com. That's a course that we put together to actually help you make better video content, helps you with your on-camera presence, researching and scripting your videos, how to set up your camera gear, what to think about in your filming process, and then some of my secrets to success like batch recording and things of that nature, structuring video content, coming up with a content strategy and a content calendar. So, it's the things that, again, if I had had those things, my first couple videos online wouldn't have sucked nearly as bad as they did, because my first 50 videos were horrible. They were god-awful videos. But if I knew what I was doing, and if I had had a breakdown of these straightforward things in a simple fashion, then yeah, I wouldn't have made such crappy videos. They would have been better. And so it's the things that I understand today that, man, if I had started out that way, it could have been a big difference in what would have happened with my content. So, we created that, and we got 50% off until April 30th. So that discount code is in the description if you guys want to check that out. We're adding some things to that course based on feedback from the students who've already actually run through the course. They actually wanted to add a few things. They loved the course, but they felt like there were some things that could be expanded upon. There were some things that they thought that they specifically struggle with that would be dope, that could help other people. And I said, yeah, that's actually a really good idea. So, I mean, that's the difference between me and some other people is I make my courses in collaboration with my community. This is the first full-on course we've ever launched, and my students in Awesome Creator Academy helped me with that and come up with a lot of the ideas for the content and what to explore there based on their struggles as both creators large and small. And so I like that it's a collaborative effort. I like that the things that I produce and that I share with you guys and the things that I built my business on come as much from the community as from my own experience. And I think that that's important. I think it's something different. And I like the whole different is better than better thing. So, if you guys want to check that out, it's at awesomecreatoracademy.com, and you've got discount codes in the description. We also hooked you up with a discount code for TubeBuddy, an invite to MORNINGFAME. We always have resource links for you, and we also have some good free content over at awesomecreatoracademy.com. It's not just courses and coaching and the membership group. We've got some really good articles that I put together with resources for you guys. We have the resource list of everything I used for my business. I'm going to be getting into more with helping you launch your websites, your email marketing for those of you trying to hustle and do that. There's a lot of money to be made in that. There's going to be some more content around freelancing. You guys know that I'm on a big kick with that lately. I'm going to teach you guys about launching your own online courses, because some of you have a course inside of you that you could be selling for $100, $200, $300, and you'd start making real money instead of pennies on YouTube AdSense. So we want to help you guys figure all of that stuff out. So again, Awesome Creator Academy, discounts and codes and all the things in the description down below, some free content. And over on the main site, we also have a sign up right now for a training video that we produced. We did a live webinar. We'll be doing some of that stuff too. We do live training events, and we did an analytics training to read your YouTube analytics. You can get a free copy of the video from that training. It's like a 45-minute video if you sign up your email. So we've got a lot of good stuff there. We've got the YouTube starter kit. We got the analytics crash course on pre-order for half off. You can get channel reviews, one-on-one coaching, join the mentoring program. Just all kinds of good stuff. But that's what I have going on. That's my business outside of YouTube. That's the thing I hustle at when I'm not making content. And so that is like me being my own sponsor of the channel. Anyway, guys, I'm sick. I need to get better. I need to drink some tea. I need to lay down. And I'm going to do all of those things. And then hopefully I feel better tomorrow, and I can film the unboxing video of the new Mavic Air. Where's that thing? So really excited about that. That's going to be dope. I'm going to be doing some lighting tutorials thanks to our friends at Aperture, because they sent over a bunch of cool lighting stuff. They even sent me over the same light they gave Peter McKinnon. And actually, the cool thing about Aperture is they actually hooked me up with a lot of that product because I commented on a Peter McKinnon video and they liked my comment. And so I would remind you guys that you just never know how you build relationships with people, with brands. Like, all this stuff happens if you're human and if you're real with people and if you're contributing some kind of value. Like, they liked my comment enough to check out my channel, and they saw it was dope, and then they wanted to work together. And now I'm going to be able to teach you guys a few more things about product lighting for those of you who do product reviews, whether it's tech, whether it's beauty, whether it's other products. Like, there's a specific way that you light that, and I feel like nobody's talking about it, so I'm going to start doing some teaching around some of that stuff. So, you know, that's what I'm getting into. It's like, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm my sponsor. How's the podcast coming along? Podcast is good. We got 2 interviews that we need to drop. We got some more interviews coming, and I've got some podcast or audio that needs to ship out to Music Radio Creative for them to edit. So, you know, those things matter. It only takes 1 viewer to make a difference. Yep, 1 view is the right view. 1 view is the right view. Yeah. So also, thank you to Gilded Phoenix Vlogs for moderating. Like, thank you so much for hanging out for 4 hours, moderating. Super appreciate you doing that. That is a big deal. My moderators do a great job. You know, so I'm really so happy that I have a great community here. You guys are amazing. You guys, when things get challenging, you guys are very supportive and you're very understanding. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate all the help and the respect and the hustle that you guys put in for me. And so I just want to say thank you. When we hit the 300K, after that, not exactly when it happens, but right like around when that happens, I'm going to try to figure out this charity live stream. One, I'm trying to figure out logistics for the donations. And I might just have to manually donate like the super chats myself after YouTube takes their money from it to whatever charity we sponsor. But I'm going to try to get most of you to donate directly to the charity when we figure that out. I also have to figure out what charity we're going to support. So hit me up on Instagram and Twitter about that stuff because we're going to try and figure it out. And but I'm leaning toward No Child Hungry. I'm really leaning in that direction, or Pencils of Promise. So I'll keep you posted. And you guys let me know what you are thinking in Twitter and Instagram. So, you know, we'll figure that out together. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you. As always, go out there, create something awesome today. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one.